All righty. I think we're live. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday was all of the drama related to trade and EU, and everybody was feeling good. And now today, not much overnight. There was a couple of things here and there. Japan is actually now back on the table, but this time it is not positive. And when it's all said and done, the main event right now is NVIDIA earnings today after the bell. So that's what everyone's going to be waiting on. We were just talking about it right now. It's either you get a big move prior or you get a big move after, aka all day today. You know, you've seen this before in earnings mode. The market waits for it, then we kind of meander, or sometimes it does a big one. But that's all that's really going to matter. Besides that, we talked about it yesterday on the watch list. Guidance. I don't think anybody's really worried about what NVIDIA is going to do. They are still worried about how they are going to guide. So keep that in mind. But Chatadonia, we got about 4 minutes. You're here ready to go. Their chat is pouring in. So good morning and God bless. But now that I have you, tell me, my friends, what is your first play of the day? I'm going to be watching NVIDIA, Fannie Mae, Elevance, UNH, Boeing, MTN, and Pepsi. That's what I'm going to be watching. Now it's your turn. And if you post any plays after the bell, I will ban you. You better read the rules. Okay? I can tell if you've watched it in a week or not. You know that? You know that? They're going to be like, Josh, what's up with the music? I'm like, where were you last week? Where were you? How come I haven't seen you in a week? Okay? So lock and load, baby. What do we got? VST, Teslas, ANF, GameStop, SPY, NVIDIA call, SPY call, Guidance, Shame, Core Weave, Tesla call, ACHR, SOXL, 595 calls, NVIDIA 140s, Good Morning, Elf calls, puts on Uncle Mass, selling my Apple call, Tesla, BBAI, AMC, swinging NVIDIA, SLV, MSTR, GME, Pepsi shares. Where were you? I'm scanning up. I gotta get what we got on here. Let's go. Law Term, Apple, Abivai, Palantir, Coca-Cola, Apple, CoreWeave, NVIDIA, TLT, Push, GM, High WM, Shame, AMD, no more AMC, Core Whip, NQ, Netanyahu killed Hamas leader, ANF in the final plays. Selling my target calls, NVIDIA, Navitas, let it ride, ANF, adding Pepsi, and Bank of America, 45 puts. Let's go. Let's go. I'm not going to lie. Can I be honest with you guys? Last night, I was fighting demons. Okay? I was fighting demons yesterday. Because last night, man, I'm just sitting in front of my computer. And I'm just finding ways to spend that cash, bro. You know that? I had two scenarios of spending all of that cash in the long term, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I said, oh, if I buy this one, and then if I buy this one, and then if I put all of the money in this one. So, yeah, man, I don't know, but shout out to long term. Oh, so if you have cash, you should be shopping. You don't have cash, you ride the lead, bro. But, yeah, I've been thinking about you. Oh, yeah. So, Chatadonia, we got about 1 minute. I should have went pee instead of singing to you. Can I go pee? No commercial breaks, just nice, relaxing mood music. I'm going to do it. I think I can do it.
Finland and Sweden join NATO, we feel stronger than before.
So today, what would you say your biggest investment concerns are? You're running $1.7 trillion fund. For the average person not managing that much money, what should they be worrying about, and what are you worrying about?
No, I think you've got two things. One, you have the known unknowns, right? So, and there at the top of my list would be two things. One is inflation, because I think there is an argument in a tight labor market when you potentially decline the supply or reduce the supply of labor. In the US, you put on tariffs. These things can be inflationary, and there could be a moment where, given the high level of government debt, that the investors suddenly decide, you know what, we want a much higher coupon to lend to, to governments, and so you could see a step up in interest rates, which could be negative for financial markets. Then, of course, all the AI-related stocks. The epicenter here is Taiwan, so you need to watch that. The thing that really scares us when it happens is the unexpected.
We out here, bro. We out here. Oh, yeah. So, Chatadonia, get ready.
Middle East.
Get ready. All right, we got about 10 seconds, and like we said many times here, it's really going to be about the NVIDIA pre-reaction or not. All eyes are on there. We'll see what happens overseas, and then, again, bonds. There it is. Round one. Fight. All righty. Stellantis, I want to see. Again, UNH, watch Elevance. They came out with guidance, so I want to see if it's going to be good for the industry or not. But yeah, those are kind of barely moving. NASDAQ up. Everything's up, actually, to start. So good, and we'll see where that leads us. Give me my 4 charts. All right, we got a couple plays. Again, watch those core weaves, too. We made a few of those. Hold on, I need to check that in a little bit. Bitcoin and oil. None of them are moving. Yeah, Meta right away. Again, NVIDIA and anything related, there is going to be a lot of those sympathies there. The Papa John's contracts opened up a little bit better here. So where is CoreWeave? CoreWeave, it's chilling, but not as much. Yeah, the core weaves, they were up. Actually, that's great. So again, we'll see if it plays out how it is, but I want to see if we have volume. But right now, CoreWeave just went from green plays to all break even and negative in that one candle. So again, those are the plays even from yesterday. Keep that in mind. Oh, which one's that? WRD and Reddit. Who was the other one? UNH. Elevance. Yeah, Elevance actually went red. No way. No way. Okta, again, they had earnings, and then MTN. I think Okta changed something there. Otherwise, we will see. Yeah, 6J. So again, all of the Japan stuff, they had an auction, and the auction was bad. So all of that like little impetus of feeling good yesterday got wiped out. But it did calm down the long end view. So long story short, not too big of an issue today. It buys you time for everybody to focus on NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA coming down though. Again, I think they are pricing in about $10. Where is a CoreWeave? Oh, shit. They added new contracts on CoreWeave. Okay, those plays came back to green. The ones I was just telling you about in the morning. Which is very interesting. NVO. Yeah, and Vitis is crazy. Oklo, ACHRO, TEM. I saw that one moving in the morning. Oracle starting to move up too. They're barely green. Hims on the low. ACHR. Apple is moving. I'm shopping now. There you go. Oh, they scam me? Hold on. I got scammed, bro. They keep scamming me! Sorry. Dude. Oh, I think I already whiffed. Yeah, damn it. I had one, but they just scammed the fuck out of me. Alright, well, we'll see. I'll keep an order on there. But that was going to be my first play. I missed it. I still might be able to get a cheaper one. Actually, maybe we'll go with time. It's not working. It is soothing. That's what I said. Kind of shopping for plays when it gets quiet. It's really good. Dude, they keep doing this to me, man. Bro, I be putting in these orders and then I'm not filling by like 2 cents and then they're jacking it up. There you go. I don't like this play anymore. I just watched the 15% go in front of my eyes. But I like the idea. GameStop. Yeah, again, GameStop bought a bunch of Bitcoin, if you guys didn't know. So now it has officially became a Bitcoin stock. So that's nice. All right. LEU, there's UNH. Again, I had a whiff of Rooney on some of these. Kind of disappointing. Zim is actually moving up as well. Again, the pizzas are leveling out. Right, and then Google's still up too. Joby, they had something in the morning. UPS on the low. There's UNH again. The headline, Elevance. That's what I'm expecting. Again, Elevance started to move up now. I don't know what happened. Livewire yesterday, we were talking about it, but that thing was up another, 40 or something today? And then Abercrombie selling off after doing good on the earnings. Nobody knows the price that GME bought it at. Yeah, it could have been within the last quarter, so I'm sure that it could be anything. LTBR. Oh, where was the other one? Where are those other small caps? Marvel on the high. That one's interesting. Yeah, Marvel's still up 2% for some reason. Now you got Google and Amazon. CoreWeave's selling. CoreWeave's down $7. Palant moving up. Yeah, Palantir got washed yesterday, so not really. It was actually barely like 0.5%. So watch. And then again, Google and Amazon. See if you get any of the big tech leaders, even damn Meta. So honestly, everything but NVIDIA. So that's going to help out a little bit. I don't know what level we're at. Remember, 59.50. That's pretty much the next spot. 59.33. This is a soft level. You remember yesterday you held a good close. So yeah, 59.50 and then 5,600 or 6,000, excuse me. Same exact thing that you've dealt with. RL and EL on the high. Or no, that was just RL. But yeah, another set of retailers moving. Again, all the retail earnings were good. Macy's to like even Tapestry and a few others. And then speak of which, Bitcoin's trying to come back up. Gold is actually up on the day, but barely. Coinbase on the low now. Affirm on the low. Yeah, coin just started selling off out of nowhere. And there's UNH and then GE. So a couple of things are doing good. CoreWeave dumping. Literally, CoreWeave is down $10 from the open. Let's see what we got. I'm checking where it's at. Yeah, CoreWeave, it's at volume now, but it's not. It's expected to have an average volume day. So the demand is not as high on CoreWeave today like it was on any of those other days. Okay, a lot of things going up. Google, again, GE. Now you got EA. You got banks on the low. Goldman starting to flush. Is Tem still dying? Yeah, they're down 9. You know that thing's going to move like crazy, though. So be mindful. VG, Abbott, I keep seeing that one, and Oracle. There's a new high. Again, you're going into the level. The Russell is the only thing red right now. And then, like I said, their CoreWeave, that's not going to be crazy. Yo, which one? Chill. XLK on the low. SPY just got a decent pop. Yeah. So you're still moving through the levels. You're going to be at that 59.50 before you know it. You're 10 points away. So again, that was a 10-point pop. SPX on that candle. Bond's going down a little bit on it. Is that Elevance again on the high? Yeah, they're holding. Watch Tesla too. Tesla has a lot of activity. Let me double check that one. No, Tesla's still going to be below volume, surprisingly. And then Google, I think Google and Amazon all day, both of those. Oh, let me check the other one. And then where's Pepsi? Because they got a lot of volume yesterday too. Nope. All below. NQ new high again. SPY just wicked into a high right there, so just see. Yeah, CRM, Tesla, and nvdA, they're the first volume leaders. Then Google, Palantir, and then UNH. Even Broadcom, too. And then Palantir's on the low, so SPY getting a red now, too. Yeah, there's Broadcom. KHC's had a lot. Everything from performance all the way down to, like, activists and investors. But, I mean, long story short, just a name that brings in a lot, but it's like one of those OG value names, you know? They have a lot going on with it, a lot of debt, and a lot of other history. Damn, Pepsi straight up. I still like those, but damn, son. XLV coming back. I like XLV today. Again, there was good news with Elevance and all that. So we'll see. Other than, and then it's kind of subtracted from the whole AI thing. Yeah, Unity's starting to run. THC on the high. TSM now going. Watch Broadcom too. That could be another one. And then Procter Gamble. So not bad. Bro, Google and Amazon. And then GE, I've been seeing that one all day. Where is it? Are we doing Bebzi? Habibi, I've been telling you guys, you have a cash, do a Bebzi. You no cash, you wait, Habibi. How come, Habibi, you don't listen, Habibi? YMM on the high. Medtronic now. Now there's NVIDIA. So yeah, NVIDIA just woke up after kind of selling off 2% almost. So get ready for it. MNST on the high. You can't say if you got it or not. Oh, so you're playing with me. Okay. I feel, brother. Have a good day. Have a good day. Amen. $4.99, baby. $4.99. Oh, CEG's coming back up, too. Those ones are weird. I got to get rid of those. MP now on the high. Yo, MP, big pop. Is that 1.2 materials? I don't see anything. I see OPEC, no policy recommendation. That is about it. The plays are kind of jacked up a little bit. Yeah, they're about 20%. But yeah, MP. I don't see anything. I'm checking the headline. Again, premiums didn't fucking move. 20%, nothing crazy. And then I see OPEC headlines. That's it. MP takeover rumor? Oh, shit. We believe we're about to see Barrick spend billions to buy this miner next. So it sounds like an opinion. But see if it juices it up or not. All right, MP. Bitcoin dumping. All right. I like the Zen. Zen is good. It's good. All right. I was able to snake one of those, so that was good, but it doesn't seem that crazy. And then, like I said, it sounds more like an opinion article. But we'll take it. I'm down for now. I think they'd be bearish for Barrick. It doesn't matter for the price of gold, but like I'm saying, that headline, it sounds, what's the word I'm looking for? It sounds like an opinion. It doesn't sound like news. Like yesterday, we had some breaking news ones, but yeah, like this one wasn't. Oh, which one was it? What was Infa? That was like a real buyout. This one I think is opinion. But then again, it's related to everything. If you remember MP and some of the policy stuff. So yeah, we'll see. Either way, there's some cheap ones there, but they're only moving on the ask. That's what kind of sucks about it. Boom. AAP on the high. Okay, UNH coming up again. Elevant's already leading. Again, watch healthcare today. I think they're going to be interesting. And then Staples. That's all Pepsi, damn it. Yeah, and a little bit of Walmart. Energy correspondence. No group policy recommendation from JMCC. That's related to the OPEC. Core weave. There were some decent core weaves. I just didn't want to take them. Because if we could burn more time, I think those will do better. nvdA, all that matters is guidance. That's the thing we've been saying lately. That was the watch list thing that I wanted to make sure everybody understood. Because it's very big. I think it's very critical. Because most people don't realize it till it's too late. And then they start looking for nvdA. They think it's about the earnings. But remember, guidance is what got us here. So a lot of people have brought up the chip ban stuff too. But when it's all said and done, it's just guidance. Guidance. OPEC ministerial meeting has started. KG halted? Oh, no way. Yo, then hold on. That MP ship might have legs. Because look, it correlates with the pop. Hold on, though. Wait, I thought KG should be a gold company. If it's not, then ignore everything I'm saying. No, this is property and insurance. Never mind. Am I thinking of KGC? Kinross? Yeah, this is just a reinsurer company. See if any other insurer has moved. Yeah, they just reinsure. All right. GLNG. Okay, SPY coming down. A couple names on the low ticker picking up. Whatever, MP is in his own little world with that headline. And then just watch again Google, Amazon, and then your boy nvdA. Yeah, even Google's coming down and Amazon. Like I was telling you, big tech. You kind of had big tech holding you up here. They're all still green. And then you have GE, and then bonds have been wrecked today. You also don't have the yen playing along. There's Boeing. Bobo. Bigger pop on Boeing. I don't have a headline yet, but yeah, they're moving. Boeing premiums are down, though, even from yesterday. Yo, where's our boy? Yeah, Boeing and then UNH ripping. Pizza. Pizza options are doing way better than yesterday. Even though stock's coming down. Very fascinating. UNH, I don't think the volume is I haven't seen anything trigger high volume today. So I haven't had any of these names I've been looking at. None of them have been unusual. So, yeah, even UNH isn't going to do anything. Okay, SPY coming down now. Well, it has been here. Again, there's a lot of room. The crazy part is that's just like 15 points. You're filling that gap. Your next gap is 110 points lower. So, I don't know. Domino's on the high. Pizza. But, yeah, play accordingly and be wise. Okay, Constellation. Where's Oklo and all that? See if Boeing could take off. Habibi. Oh, Humana and Bradley Frizzle at the page. Oh, no. There it is. That's why Boeing was moving. He was just getting ready. Oh, Bradley Frizzle. Pates Nation. Good morning, baby. So I'm talking about. Oh, my goodness. Peach Nation, you're blessed. You're in the presence of a great. You know that? You are blessed. You are blessed, my friends. That's amazing. That is amazing. Right. I just got rid of a play. It wasn't Boeing, but I love Bradley Frizzle. I might want another Boeing. THC on the high. Let's go, baby. Bradley Frizzle. He's just good vibes, bro. It's good vibes. It's good vibes. How can you not? How can you not like the dude? It's crazy. C-Web, Baidu on the high. Interesting. NEM. Where's MP just still staying pinned up there? UNH doing good. NetEase, another China name, and then watch if Boeing, and then bonds haven't moved. SPY sold off a little bit. Actually still green. You kind of filled the gap on the day. But yeah, we're still waiting. And then NVIDIA's danced around a couple of times. NetEase, that's a China name on the high. Yeah, NVIDIA came back to the low. Hit a low, went up, and then did that a couple times. These are the same ones from yesterday, huh? Tesla pop from the bottom, OPEC data and 7. I mean, we will get Fed minutes today. But I do think NVIDIA is the one. Such a vibe, baby. Amen. I hope you enjoy it. And good morning. Good morning, Chatadonia. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. That is the crazy part. Yeah, so you'll get like Dallas Fed services and a few other things, but I don't think anything's going to be too crazy. Oh, Reek, what up, baby? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, Tesla a little bit. CoreWeave trying to move. I'm watching China names, you guys. Baba, Baidu. Actually, all of the China names. I don't know if this is small or not. Yeah, keep an eye on China. That could develop into something positive, but they're all kind of moving. I don't know if it's like inverse correlation or if there is news brewing. I can't tell. But literally, your biggest names in China down to the index are moving. Futu, Baba, Baidu, C-Web, they're all going. Let's see. Can we talk? You're not a hacker. I could video you my bank account. I'll leave you alone, but we need to talk. Excuse me? That's not a good intro, by the way. You know, you don't. That's like going up to a girl and being like, hey, I promise you I'm not a kidnapper, but we just need to talk. Okay, I promise you I don't kidnap girls, but we need to speak. That's yeah, man. I don't know. What do you got for me? You might as well. Now you got the chat invested. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little curious because I'm not gonna look at my email till after the day. So you could either wait 7 hours and I still won't respond, or you could just tell me now. I know you. I don't know you at all, actually. At all. So you have a settlement? Well, listen, any type of money you're coming into, like I've always told everybody, sit on it for 30 days. Minimum. And then you're going to start, you could take that 100K, take 10,000, 20,000, split it up, and then go monthly from there. Same strategy as anybody else, and that's enough money to get you any type of house. Bro, I might get a free house, you guys. You know that? That just reminded me. Dude, I'm telling you, hunt. Hunt, you guys, hunt. I'm stumbling across deals left and right. But yeah, literally, that's I got someone who might give me a free house, yeah. I saw the house, it was listed, and then I contacted them, and because I'm like, damn, this is cheap. Come to find out, the house is a short sale. So yeah, they're like either going to lose the house or they're just going to give me the mortgage. And then that's it. Oh, I hate these options. These are terrible. You usually be quiet. Yeah, just next time, don't open up your shit with I'm not a hacker. You know, it does. Like I said, it don't come off like that. But email me, I'll get back to you afterwards. But like I'm saying, if it has to do with like coming into money, it's the same exact stuff I tell everybody. But it's about letting the money sit, and whatever plan moving forward, you got to start little by little. And that's what I'm saying. 100K, 10, 20K. You're going to throw out as your initial, but then everything from there, just month by month until you're good. No, bro, you're good. You're good. It was funny either way. All jokes, bro. But like I'm saying, go slow. Go slow. And look for houses, though, you guys. I'm telling you, just whatever everybody else is saying, and the real estate world is weird right now. I've been seeing the wildest shit. Good deals, bad deals. Some people are struggling in a very odd way. I'm telling you, I did not think this house was like a day or two ago. I did not think it was going to be a short sale. I had no idea. I just thought it was a good deal, and I tell LT to hit him up, and then he comes back, and he's like, you want a free house? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah, the guy is a short sale. He's already lowered the price. He has like a month till he forecloses, so he's either going to lose the house and give it to the bank and get nothing, and there's zero equity, or he could just literally give me the house. And so I might overpay for it, but I don't have to pay anything. All I'm going to do is take over his payment, and now I get this whole entire property. That way, I could literally, if I pull this off, I could get a property, use the long term to qualify, but then that long term will not get touched. So yeah, it works. It takes a process, and the bank has to play along. But yeah, NVS on the high. All right, well, China just got clapped there. It's top of the hour. What is this? nvdA? Why does your neighbor put the house on the market for 3 months, 20% over, then take it off for 3 months? Because he knows what he got. You know what I'm saying? He knows what he got. He's, I ain't stealing. I know what I got. I know damn well what I got. So he ain't going, you know, he might do that for the next 2 years. Believe it or not. Okay, TLT, man, out of all of this, look at this SPY. Like I'm saying, something's brewing with China. I think that's very interesting. They're all kind of moving. XLV still up. AOG Technics director charged by SFO in fake plane parts probe. Who's AOG? AOG Technics? I don't know who that relates to. And then ELF on the high. Boeing going lower. And then is it L3 Harris? Because L3 Harris and RTX coming down. So I don't know. Defense. I got a weird headline on faulty plane part probe. Richmond Fed came in -10, -11. Business conditions -18 versus -30. Literally, this all sounds negative, but it's all positive. Most of the data has gotten a lot better. OPEC discussed proposed mechanics for setting 2027 baseline, sources say. The fake parts is a Boeing thing? Good looks. Yeah, because they moved a little bit, so watch out. Like I said, China, it's odd. Boeing, Pinduoduo, or not Boeing, Baba, Pinduoduo, Baidu. Again, Pinduoduo was the big earnings one yesterday. But volume on everything is low. I'm putting in all these stocks into my little algo, and none of them are triggering for high volume today. So keep that in mind. UVXY is on the high as we're going lower. So SPY, Dow, and NASDAQ just flipped red, all about 0.03 exactly. And then Russell's already down by 0.39. We've been here for 30 minutes. Let me get you guys a checkup. How does that sound? Would you like a checkup? Oh, if it loads. Can you load, my brother? Please hold while we connect your long term. All right. So Dow Jones, you have 9 names in the green. UNH, the leader. 21 in the red. AOG Technic director charged in SFO fake plane part. That's coming out again. So literally only 9 names green on the Dow. NASDAQ 54 green, 47 in the red. So that's kind of crazy. It's 50-50. And then our boy S&P 500, 161 green, 340 in the red. So you actually have a lot more names red on the SPY. So it's still kind of back and forth. Not an easy read, but generally it's not like yesterday where you have 90% of everything going up. So not bad. EYPT on the high. Love on the high. DoorDash. Again, SPY near the low. Boeing flipped. All right. Pinduoduo, Baba coming down. Nibix. And then there's UNH. I remember the counterfeit parts thing, yeah. All right, car on the high, and then there is UNH. My brethren. Go, brother, go. Unity. That one's still going up. How's GME? Even after the Bitcoin news. They didn't go up. Williams Sonoma kind of taking off. Again, even the earnings. Macy's, bro. All of the retail. Yeah, Abercrombie did good because, remember last earnings, they did bad. And they were a name that was like running off of like craziness. And then all of a sudden, you know, the bad earnings killed the momentum. And this earnings report today brought it back a little bit. I was actually surprised. This is still up. Plays with it. Welcome. Top of the hour. Do some push-ups. Feel free to. We usually start at 8:30, but you know, anytime, any moment. Amen. Oh, where's the other one? Yeah, NVO starting to move up here out of nowhere. And then look at the bonds. Then that's Unity printing on the high again. And then SPY still near the low, even though this is right at break even. That's crazy. So yeah, we're just chilling right where you closed. You did get to go almost 20 points higher, still below the next key level, and then yeah, still meandering and waiting for nvdA. You've burned 36 minutes. Long day to go still, brother. Long day to go. Google, hymns, I'm gonna keep Unity up. Watch UNH as well. Yeah, Google's starting to sell. I thought that one was interesting. And Amazon, because it was surprising that big tech was kind of leading in the morning, and now it's not. And then AAP's still ripping. So yeah, 59.20 is a big level. So again, it's like 59.17. That's the overshoot. I still think that right there in the middle, the 07, the 10, that's kind of the low end. But we've played this momentum before. That's why, as much as I want it to be about something, it's really not. It's just all momentum. Tesla, STX, I've seen that all the time. I know, Pepsi, bro. Yeah, now Pepsi's doing fucking good. BB, why they charge like this? What happened to Tem? I don't really follow that stock, but I just know it could move 10%, and then by the end of the day, it could be break even. That's something I do know about it. But yeah, what is it? Negative Spruce Point Capital Research Report. New York-based investment firm that focuses on forensic research and short selling. So yeah, it's a short report. No, not even a downgrade, just literally a short report. That's why it's down 13. RVMD. Again, Advanced Auto Parts just took another $1 in 3 minutes there. SPY at the bottom, so are bonds. There's Marvel. That's done great for a chip all day today. BB. You're getting Pepsi for the long term. That's good, but you don't have to tell us. Because now I'm going to assume you're trying to pump it. Don't. So good work, though, but don't. Just get it. What price do you think UPS would be a diamond? I don't know. It's all relative. That's been the one thing, is that it's all relative to what else we could get. You know, if everything rips up and UPS is still at this price, it's a diamond. But at the end of the day, you know, it's not really about a certain price as much as it is how far can we stretch our dollar. Wendy's. You guys like Wendy's? Wendy's popping. OPEC meeting on Wednesday not to make any oil output decision. Okay, AAP still, SPY near the low, though. Now Citi and banks. I see a lot of financials on the low, surprisingly. And then you already had the big tech kind of sell off. Now NVO's going up as everything else coming down. Core Weave, yeah, I didn't take any yet. Pinduoduo for the long term, I would just be careful. I only like Baidu and Baba, and even then, like, most people just don't have any experience with Chinese names. So we've bought China at a good time, and it helped our portfolio out, but we kept it small for a reason. And then I've always said, like, a lot of China names I don't really, like, fuck with just because we don't know them. We don't really understand them. Like, I have some friends. I know some people. That's how I got put on to Baidu. I've always known about Baba my whole life, but, you know, that's kind of the problem. So I like Pinduoduo. I like Temu, and I think Pinduoduo at one point had one of the best portfolios in China. But like I'm saying, you know, you don't want to venture too deep in this names or the lists of names that you don't really experience. You know, you don't really use their products. You never will. So other than that, it's attractive value, and just I would not go overboard, and make sure you know what you're buying is the best advice I could give you on that. So I hope that helps. Shout out the wisdom. Pendodo. Okay, UNH again. I'm gonna keep both of these up. Oh yeah, where's the long term? Dude. Chad, forgive me. What is up with this level of cash? Every time I get to this level of cash, I just want to spend it all. What's wrong with me? Because, bro, last night I was shopping. You know, the market wasn't even opened, and I was shopping. I was like, if I get this many dividends, if I buy this one, and I was thinking growth and divvies and everything, bro. Yeah, but I have been, because again, we got a deposit coming up very soon. And yeah, there's some good names out there. They must pry it from your hands. Indeed. And SPY going lower. A couple of names on the low as well. Yeah, UNH, MRUS, a couple of random ass biotechs. And then healthcares are outperformers. Same with Staples, but see if Pepsi comes down or not, because that's going to lead it there. And Walmart was up earlier. All you also need is big tech, too. If any of these two of them move, then that's it. It is, man. It's this is my consumer behavior showing. But yeah, because I'm like, man, we have the deposit, we got the cash, but I see names I want to buy. But then again, they're all like decent deals. They're all right in the middle, where it's like, wow, I want to buy it, but then it's like, well, it can't go down lower. And, you know, I think I want it at the best price. Otherwise, I think 5% cash is great. 4%. Yeah, UNH still working. Now Amgen, that's another healthcare. IMAB, and then these small-ass biotech companies. Alright, and then 714. Let me give you the checkup real quick again. Just because most of it was red. Again, you had only 150 names green on the SPY. Yeah, it's about the same. NASDAQ's 50-50, believe it or not. So that's why you need some big tech leaders. And then, yeah, 150 green on the SPY. But I need to go to the bathroom, chat. So follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Real Cult News on Twitter. I love you. And I hope you're ready for NVIDIA earnings. And I hope you got a long term, baby. But I will be RB. Tesla. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Real Cult News on Twitter. So you can't do it with the music. So your chat fact is hilarious. You come in every day, complain about the music, and then last week you were like, I'm back from COVID times. I should have listened and built the long term. Do you see what happened last time? All your emotions robbed you of the opportunity. You get what I'm saying? And you're making the same mistake. So instead of like, yeah, but either way, man, be safe, okay? Thank you for the $5. But yeah, you made the same mistake.
Kind of research.
Can't believe it.
Thank you.
Can't believe it.
Roadmap for the rest of the
All right,
hour. Is the
back.
dollar's dominance now in doubt?
Never mind.
We're going to talk to former Goldman Sachs Asset Management Chair Jim O'Neill about why he says some of the president's policies could undermine
45% jump in the first 3 months of the year. We are likely to see even bigger numbers for the second quarter. And this is following a 2024 that was record revenue and profit for these firms. And the banks, this is not to say that the market makers are setting records, that the banks are not seeing the same benefits. The banks, too, are seeing their trading. It's all on the back of huge volumes that have only continued in 2025. So we're likely to see that in 2025 full year numbers. In the second quarter. Now, the big question becomes, when does that liquidity start to dry up? The market makers will be impacted by that if trading starts to pull back and folks are losing money and not just getting in and out of various trades.
But for now, a heyday. Remember, Jane Street last year, according to your reporting, brought in more than Citigroup and Bank of America. So this is becoming hot competition. Catherine, we enjoy your reporting. That is Bloomberg's Catherine Doherty. And now we're going to shift. We're going to talk about hedge funds. We're going to bring in Alana Weinstein, IDW Group CEO and founder, because for all the love the market makers are getting, the hedge funds don't seem to be feeling as much love. What are we seeing from the multi-strats in terms of performance after we seemingly saw a little bit of a rebound coming into May? Are they still feeling it?
Okay, so what's beautiful about the multi-strats is they're not as tethered. They are not tethered, I should say, to the market in terms of whether the market is up or bound or rebounding. That's for another category, which we'll get to. They are exceptional at managing volatility and putting up consistent performance. And what I would shine a light on right now, Shanali, is we have lived through one of the most volatile periods in recent memory, as we know, over the last several months. And the fact that the multi-managers have navigated this as effectively as they have, they've stayed in largely positive territory during the duration of this period, I think shines a light on the fact that the best ones, I'll say it like this, have moneyballed the industry.
Fascinating. So if you look at their ability to draw in talent, how does it compare to the rest? Because you are seeing, I mean, there's no other way to put it, crazy pay packages. You've been seeing teams lifted out for $100 million. You're looking at Ken Griffin trying to put a 4-year non-compete on in Florida. I mean, what does that talent war look like for the multi-strats?
Okay, so, and that is, the multi-strats are the biggest acquisitors of talent, right? By virtue of their name. Multi-managers is really the euphemism that I'm referring to. They need multiple managers to manage capital. First off, let me...
All right, lady. All right, BNED. Barnes & Nobles. Again, Tesla started moving there. UNH going great. And then Elevance, all the healthcare staples. But then for now, I still wait on nvdA. MP is starting to climb back again. No further update besides the opinion stuff. Pepsi came down a little bit. I'm keeping an eye on that one. Oh, what was the other one? Oh, X. That's starting to move up again. 55, I believe, is one of those targets. That one's odd, though. Where is a China? That was weird, that China move. I thought it was very fascinating. Pizza. Actually, I'm going to look at Domino's. Okay, X is getting bigger ones. Yeah, Domino's was leading earlier. And then, yeah, pizza, no good day today. Down 2. X is still climbing. Like I said, just look at the breakdown. 50-50 on the NASDAQ. You need a big tech mover to really get us up here. I like Intel. Intel is one of those names I was looking at. Do you guys realize right now Intel is below book value? So out of any name that I wanted, Intel has the closest book value. It's crazy. Intel's book value is $22.50. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Fundamentally. So right now it's at a 10% discount to book. So that's why it won't go lower. I've told you guys this in the past where it's like, why do you think it's staying pinned? And it's like no matter how bad the news gets on Intel, it's trading at the fucking asset value. Just if you literally took it all and divided it through. I'm not going to explain that for you. I'm just here to tell you that fundamentally it's the best value to a degree. Now, obviously, performance and other things come into play, but most stocks, you're not like you're paying well above. You're paying a premium on those assets. You're literally buying Intel at the price of what it's worth, of literally just everything. It's crazy, bro. Like UPS is like a $12 book value. Pepsi's like $16. I think Whirlpool was the other one. Whirlpool was the closest. Whirlpool's like $40-something book value. But that was just one thing. Well, it's not really bad or not. It just kind of tells you how the market values their assets. And that company, again, when things are good, big, growing, people want to pay a premium. They're willing to. So if they're not, what does that tell you? UNH, again, premiums are moving on UNH. The Qs, Qs just popped. Tesla, candle down. Pretty big one, actually. Oh, was that the one? These expense, Habibi. SPY 11 million. Not bad. Yesterday was 20 million in the first hour. China foreign minister willing to strengthen cooperation with agriculture and fishery in Pacific Island countries to expand tourism. Match on the high. Again, they had a new CEO the other day. Yeah, Match is running up 1.5, no headline. Kind of out of nowhere. Walmart to open 45 gas stations to compete with Costco. Could be old. China foreign minister supports Pacific Islands in building and policing. Cold. CVS is going now. Actually, CVS is kind of lagging. CVS was going up early. 2.7 though. That's big. Because CVS is part of the UNH Elevance trade. Intel is Udonis Haslam. Oh my gosh. I haven't heard that name in a while. Haslam has a ring. He does. Okay, Whirlpool's starting to climb. Box 2. Again, we're still at the low. You've spent the first hour. It's decent volume. Individual volumes are kind of low, but you spent the first hour just meandering down, my brother. I want to find a big volume mover. Nothing is moving today. It's quite fascinating. Yeah, it's the same names. And GE has a lot, but oddly enough, it's very, very low volume. I think it's fascinating. Whirlpool, BAH, they had something this morning. Again, there's Tesla. SPY trying to work its way around. UNH climbing back up again. Unity still on the high. That's been an all-day thing. Oh, where is it? Eli Lilly down. NVO down. We haven't had any moves on Bitcoin, just negative today. X is still going. Again, United Steel. And then there's the SPY. Okta or CoreWeave. Okta will probably have above average volume because of the earnings, but CoreWeave is still... CoreWeave's just going to be average today, which is still a higher average, but actually a little bit below. Even now, CoreWeave right now, trading less volume at this time than any other day in the last 2 weeks. So by now, it usually has more volume, but it's not today. Who's the other one you said? Okta? Okta has to go because of earnings. Yeah, Okta is very, very big volume, and it's going to be even higher. But that's just because of the earnings run up or everything that's gone on. But yeah, Okta is predicting 63 million volume, and it's only 20% of that now. No, UNH is slow, believe it or not. So UNH right now, it actually in the last 10 days, because think about the drama in the last 10 days has been high, but in this last 10 to 14 days, UNH volume by now would be a lot higher. Here, I think I could do it. Yeah, I could show you by time. That's the crazy part. So I could get every single day of trading on UNH, and I could show you by the hour. So yeah, 4 million is a lot. It's cumulative, but by 10 a.m., so the last couple days, that's why. Here, this will put it into context. Let me show you. Whirlpool moving. MP going. Yeah, the premiums are jacking now. Again, we still, just opinion, haven't heard much, but yeah, they're starting to move up. Rivian on the high too. What about seconds? I can do it by seconds, believe it or not. That's the crazy part. I have a little thing. I could just scroll over even by time. There's time slots. And I could narrow it down by the hour, and then you could go in there. But like I said, this shit's crazy. Some of the volume shit I've been playing with. But yeah, here's for UNH, just to give you an idea. So look, right now, this is where you're at, that 4 to 6 million in volume. But the last couple of days, by 10 a.m., you were doing 15 million, 10 million, 34 million. You see what I'm saying? So again, it goes hour by hour. And then you could see the full day, what's expected. So just the last couple of days have been so aggressive on UNH that even though this 6 million in volume is a lot, it's actually theoretically low. You see, so it did 4 million at 10 a.m., 6 million by 11, and then now we got to work our way through. So yeah, but it's not like it's big volume, but compared to the last two weeks, it's very slow. And then per the time basis, even at this time of the day, it's trading lower than average. That's the thing. Volume is just very deceptive. It never used volume as a clear indicator, but it just gives you an idea of supply and demand. So it's good to know. It's good to know if there's demand and where things are at, but it's never going to give you like a confirmed, oh yeah, if this, then that. Airbus tells airlines to expect delivery delays through 2028. Boeing. I don't own any Rivian, no. I buy it at like $1. I think at like $1 billion valuation, it's worth the parts. But other than that, I think Rivians look cool, and I see them a lot in California, but I don't think it's a good investment at $15. ANVS. I feel like Chad's brought this up before. Anavis up 12% on one candle. Anavis, ANVS. Anavis. Okay, UNH. Man, I whiffed on one of those so hard. Always. You're curious how the tool can predict the volume? I think it goes off of all the data. So it has every single set of data for every single day. So based on the early move, I'm sure it has a math thing, and then it's AI, and then it's an algo. So I have no idea. It's pretty accurate though. That's some days it's off and then it's extrapolating, but yeah, I don't know how it works. I just know it works. And like I'm saying, when I go back and look at it, it's there, but it never gives you, you know, it never makes things go crazy. That's the thing. Just because it had high volume doesn't mean anything. And that's kind of where the false signals get confusing. Marvel, it's still a little too up there. Okay, SPY's coming back down. Low ticker, pretty active once again. Where are we? 5912. So you're breaking all the big levels. Remember, 5913, 5910, 5907. That's where it is. So if we break all that and go below 5900, you got to work your way back up to 5900. But again, all that's going to really matter with this level is probably going to be NVIDIA or not. BTDR, short report, Callisto. Bitdeer Technologies. Bond stopped going down. ARAI. Whatever this one is. Yeah, in small caps, this thing just got unhalted. Arrive AI. ARAI, what's this? Okta flush. So again, Okta is going to have a lot of volume today. It's already, I think, 2,000 times what volume it does by this hour. But again, they had a big earnings reaction. That's what's causing it. TS, again, SPY, ARAI. I want to see what's up with that one. Array secures 40 million capital infusion. That was yesterday. Energy Intel correspondent. There's going around discussion around mechanism to determine future baselines. That's related to the OPEC stuff. Unity on the high. Unity on the high and Okta continuing its sell-off from earnings. Nike and Intel as your anchors, making them the heaviest. So that doesn't jive with everything we were talking yesterday and throughout some of these years. So I like both of those names, but both of those names are deep value. So I wouldn't really call those your anchors. You know, Pepsi is a good example of a possible anchor. JP Morgan, that's a great example. But usually an anchor is probably a leader in their industry. Palo Alto might react big because of Okta, but I don't know about tying it into anything else besides that. And then cyber has just been a very, very important factor lately. Yeah, there is a 5-year auction. A whole week, there's a lot of supply. CRM on the low. Again, they sold a little bit with the Infa buy. And then CRM's one of the highest. CRM has high volume for the week or for the day, too. Yeah, CRM is already trading more volume than it has by now, and it's expected to go a lot harder. But yeah, CRM is going to have a big volume day as well. SPY, Unity and X still on the high. My goodness. Your AI volume tool was useful. Could have played it at the opening bell. Yeah, on some of these, it helps to know if there's just, again, like you could just tell if there's a lot of demand. And I like to notice, it also tells me where people buy. So that's the key. Like, give me a stock. Let's see. Let's go back to UNH. So, like, UNH, are you ready? The VWAP on UNH right now is 298.98. So you're trading higher than VWAP. But here's the deal. 12% of UNH stocks today was traded at 298.98. So you had 7.8% traded at 299. 10% of the stock was traded above 300. And then 310, that's 20, another 20% traded between 301 and 302.50. So that way too, like I did that one on Core Weave, because then you were able to tell where everybody was at. At some point, you could understand if everybody positioned higher or lower. So it's kind of crazy. And then that way you could kind of see where supply will be dumped on. The Boeing, yeah, we had that one with the Airbus earlier. It didn't really react. Hey, Pete coming up. Again. No, what's the other one? Core Weave is an Anchor and AI data center. So no, I'm going to ban you now. Why? Because you are hijacking and misrepresenting the word Anchor. That is not what Anchor is, you guys. You know, like I'm saying, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, you know, this is just what happened with the Diamond. I tell you guys, Diamond, everybody starts hijacking the word, trying to make it something it's not. Again, Core Weave, even if he is trolling, he's banned now. But those aren't anchors. You know, those are hype plays. These are new plays. Some of them are IPOs, but you know what an anchor is. So don't worry. I'm not mad at you, but for the safety of others, I'm not going to let y'all misrepresent the word anchor. Anchors are high quality, blue chip names that are very, very, like I said, leaders for big industries. All right, everything's starting to dump now. Even UNH, actually AAP did not. But look at the low ticker. You're getting volume. X still going up. SPY breaking down. Now we're going to go back below 5,900. So again, now you're right at the middle level. 2 more baby levels, and then 5,900 test. Yeah, it is, because this is what I was saying even yesterday, where it's like, believe me, I love pizza. I'm glad that we got pizza, bro. That's awesome. Pizza. You hear it a lot, but like I said yesterday, don't fool yourself. Pepsi is the anchor, not pizza, not Papa John's. You know, there's a huge difference in quality, and I need you all to get that, because I don't want you to miss out and be like, okay, I need to start my long term, and then you only buy the shitty plays, and then you only buy high yielding, deep value plays when you could be buying, like I said, there's one company's $1 billion, one of them's $130 billion. You know, those are going to be the ones. And again, leaders, and they've usually, an anchor has already been around for 10 years, and it will continue to be around for another 10. Yeah, Hershey's more of a staple, 100%. Hershey's could be a lot, but Hershey's had, I think the good thing, the dividends are like 1 or 2, but yeah, but that's just a way better quality company. That's where you could build around, you know, and then the other ones will add to it. But yeah, don't play with that, because this is where I saw this mistake happen a lot, because that's what's going to happen next. A year or 2 from now, I'm going to look at long terms and I'm going to be like, why do you have only that? Then most people are going to have the value, and then it'll be completely devoid of all high quality anchor type plays. So focus on quality. Unity. All right. Where is Hershey's? Ah. Is Kava quality? Let your ban speak to the answer. So I'll either ban you or not ban you for some of these answers. That's how I'm going to do it from now on. So y'all want to ask me about the long term, you better think about it. That's how I respond. So he said his kava quality, and I banned him. I'm sure you could figure it out from there. Righty. Yeah, Unity all day. Couple of small runners. The whole 2 hours, last hour and a half, all downside since we gapped up. But again, no real driver or push compared to what we had yesterday. You've been talking Pepsi. Do you think is good if you have 15 to 20? Where have you been the last 3 days, brother? So yeah, I'm not answering that question. You got to go back. You guys. Ah! What's happening? Even with the music. No. No. Ooh. Ooh. I do like UPS for the long term. That has been a good one. Okay, UNH breakout. And Unity and the FLNG. I think we just have to ride. Actually, UNH premiums are cheaper on the breakout, believe it or not. And then Microsoft off the bottom. Holo. I don't know why that one's going. Well, yeah, a couple names. It sucks, though. All big tech. You can see how big tech kind of curl up and then go down, but it's still the same setup. Let's see. Maybe after Euro close, but you got like another 50 minutes. All right. UNH really running. Not bad. Oust. Oh, that was the one we saw with Tesla. You guys remember that one? I forgot about that. Ouster. Remember they said something with like Tesla LiDAR that one time? We had a flip on it. Is it okay? Well, listen, you guys. I'm done with all these. I'm not answering any of them. You guys are just bullshitting today. Let's be real. Y'all asking me the same shit, you know. I'm done. Don't worry. I'm gonna be here. I'm happy. I'm chill, but let's just ask me tomorrow. I gave up on y'all. Yeah, y'all asking the same exact shit. Y'all know the answers, bro. So I'm not going to entertain them all. I'll let you meander for a little bit, and we'll come back to it tomorrow. Just take a lap, though. Take a lap, everybody. I'm not banning anybody. Not timing them out if I haven't already done it, but no. This is a terrible conversation. Everybody's asking questions they already know the answer to. So to play this runaround would be a waste of time. It's all on the watch list. You all know it, all the variations. So yeah, I'm not going to play with y'all. You could play around, but I won't play back. Why you had Ouster? Yeah, that one was a LiDAR comment. I remember it like a week or two ago. FSM, what's this? Fortuna, small caps, and an all day. Last 2 days has been only small caps. And then UNH, I still like that, but like I said, premiums are cheaper at the high. SPY's still near the low. We ain't doing nothing. Sana, you saw that yesterday. See, just take it in. Take it in. It's all you need in life. MP still going up. They just widen the spreads. RWM. Wasn't there one more healthcare company that was moving up? There's one more. And then app all day still. That's 6%. That one was a value play at one point we considered. But not anymore. Yeah, I was like, again, the news on UNH, it was just Elevance. And then Zim on the high. So again, Elevance came out, gave good guidance. That's why I like CVS and a few others. Eat on the high, and then again, Zim, and then NTGR. Yeah, Unity as well, 250 highs. GRYP, JCap short report. America Bitcoin former parent Hut. Oh, that's Hut? I did not know that. Russia, Medvedev, almost 175 servicemen, 75,000 have arrived to the military since beginning of the year. No news. There's going to be Fed minutes at 2. So, and there was some changes to the statement, but Fed minutes aren't really expected to do too much. And then you got nvdA after the bell, and then that'll be the big one. Oh yeah, the bond auction too. Just in general, everyone's worried about rates. Even Japan didn't have a good day yesterday with rates, so yeah, everybody will be on watch for that. That 7-year could be big. The whole week there's a lot of bond auctions, big supply. But then again, nvdA, you guys just got to think, whatever that nvdA guidance is, that's either going to be supportive of an AI theme and tailwind, or it's gonna be a negative. And then now, you know, you might feel good about trade, but what if the guidance is sour? And then that's not gonna be good. But I do think that's gonna be it. I don't know. It's all on guidance, but nobody knows. Anybody telling you they know, they're lying. It's simple. You know, this, all that matters is guidance. You don't know how they're going to report, and the way nvdA has done it, it's random. You know, that's why remember the 50% guides, that's what got us here. Right when the guidance stopped, the stock stopped. And now if we're going to get worried about something or feel good, it's probably going to be a result of what nvdA is expecting for the future. Dude, you're still at the low. Joby, Unity, whatever runner was existing in the morning, they're still up. See if we rotate a little bit. Like, watch. If we do start to bounce from the bottom and big tech gets a bid, just pay attention to what actually goes or not and see if we start to rotate a little bit. Spotify on the high. That's a new one. Even though it's up 1. I keep seeing Unity and Solventum. Again, there's still, it's like 50-50 on the NASDAQ. If they pull guide because of tariffs, that'd be bad. And that's what I'm saying. That would be a net negative. That would add to the uncertainty around trade. But that is what we're looking for. I'm looking for an easy guide, good or bad, to pretty much dictate the next, 10-20% of the market, because it's NVIDIA. And there's a lot there. So that's why today's important. We've talked about it even on the last earnings. NVIDIA kind of becomes its own macro event. People are going to use the guidance as a bellwether to whether or not the data is getting better or worse with AI. Okay, you're going lower. That little bounce faded. Now China, that little China pop faded. Now they're going negative. Bitcoin's down by 2. Bonds are clapped. Oil's actually up. I think gold is green today too, which shows a little bit of risk off. But yeah, you're 5907 now. This is your other level, and then maybe 5903. Other than that, though, it's just like 5900, and then that's it. I can't believe it. You overshot by like 30 points, and now you're right back, all in the same hour or two. Trump helped on earnings. Let's see if that helps Jetson. No, don't forget, you guys. Was Tesla earnings good? Just don't forget, because I won't forget. Remember, Tesla earnings were terrible. Yeah, the earnings were terrible on Tesla. Everybody just got so bearish the stock went up. So thank you, Tim Walls. But yeah, so I think it's a little different in that sense where, NVIDIA, they're not going to benefit off of bad, sentiment, because if anything, they're benefiting off of the good sentiment. They have more to prove. School is letting out for the summer? Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I guess it is almost summer. It makes some sense. School's out for the summer. Long time. Woo! All right, just wait for big tech, wait for NVIDIA, staples in healthcare, but staples in healthcare are already coming down. So whatever was even leading in the morning is actually slowing down a little bit. Well, let's see where we're at. I don't know how much is like actually selling off. So Dow Jones still 5 green, 25 red. So 5 more went red on the Dow. NASDAQ, another 20 went negative. So now it's 34 green, 67 red. So yeah, this little block right here, more names slipped off of that. And then SPY, only 97 green, 403 in the red. So remember, yesterday was 90% holding, 90% advancing. Now you pretty much have 90% declining. So you're still going off of that spot. EG on the low. Everest, and then Bond still at the low. GID. What up, GID? How you living? Welcome. And happy Wednesday. You guys know we're halfway done with the week. I know, the holidays. All right, UNH starting to come down. Like I said, XLV, Staples, they were all leading, and then they all went negative. And then Tech was leading, they went negative. That looks like Apple and Google, really. And then, yeah, SPY near the low. VVPR, whatever this is. Vivo Power. Yeah, it is month end. I mean, think about that. By Friday, you're going to get a little bit of that month end rebalance. Not the end of the quarter, but still, you can expect a little bit of window dressing. Is there a catch when you get a grant for the first time home buyer? No, you just got to qualify. And usually, like, qualifying for stuff is difficult. You just got to jump through hoops. So you have to make sure, I don't know if there's property qualifications. Sometimes there is. Then you have to qualify, make sure your income and everything is up to par to get it. That's usually how it is with any sort of special loan program, or it all depends on what type of grant you're getting and the reason why. So just a lot more hoops to jump through. But other than that, there's not really a catch besides more work usually. But then usually it's worth it because you just got free money or you got some more optimal loan or other incentive. ANGO. Okay, it's a liquid. It's up 5%. Bonds led the way down, and bonds haven't moved in 5 minutes. So SPY is going down. We'll see if it can bottom out with it. Other than that, though, I hope you're patient. And then Joby, that's been up all day, 28%. I don't know what the Joby news was. There was words that like China car companies were going to consolidate, but yeah, I don't know what the headline is on that one. Clorox on the high. That's weird because Staples came down. Again, some are holding better than not, but it's a smaller portion that's green. Citi on the low. NASDAQ only down a quarter, SPY down a quarter, Dow down a quarter, and Russell down by 0.68. So yeah, it is still very small. When it is all said and done. Wow, happy Wednesday. Family office bets big on equities.
Or these fundraising rounds for these big AI companies, it's all about scale. So to play AI, you really have to do it through the public market. So it's that private equity is less attractive, and public markets are more attractive because that's where they can get into the AI trade. Makes sense.
That's a good point. And at a later date, we'll talk about how higher ed is changing some of their allocations too.
Absolutely. And they're selling a lot of their private equity because they need cash.
Right. Yeah, these secondary funds are benefiting as a result of providing that liquidity.
That's right.
Yeah.
Robert, thanks.
Thank you,
Robert
guys.
Frank. Coming up in the next hour, FHFA Director Bill Pulte's with us. We'll talk some housing, some fresh headlines around Fannie and Freddie. You don't want to miss that as Money Movers begins in a minute.
I love the background music. My bad. It took me a little longer. Well, yeah, man. More real estate shit. Okay, new low. Unfortunately, the weird part about today, you've already sold off 40 points. Now we're going to do the 5,900 test, most likely. But now it's small. So really, by the time you start breaking, you have to go down like 0.5%, 0.75% before we could freak out. But then it's doing it very slow. So I think you guys are used to this. You've kind of seen this dynamic, and all I'm saying is that head on a swivel, don't be too certain, and realistically, this is a pre-earnings move. Just, I don't know how meaningful this is, as much as it is, everybody is still waiting and positioning for the earnings. You're going to get this first hour or two, then we'll meander and see what other trade headlines we get. But then towards the end of the day, we're either going to finalize this move up or down, and then it's about NVIDIA. So we will see. But good morning. Yeah, it's only 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 Eastern. I feel like we haven't heard from Caroline in a while. It feels like we're down a lot because you gapped up a decent amount. So technically, you did move 40 points intraday, but on the scoreboard, it looks like we're only down like 1/3%. Let's see, where is it? Oh, JD Vance is going to be at the Bitcoin conference. So that's going to be soon. J.D. Vance is going to make some sort of speech or presentation.
BC Plus.
Oh my goodness. Hearn second. I saw NVO on the low. Is it like flushing? Yeah, that does. That looks like news. Check NVO and then Hearn. I'll check the headline now. European equities traded receipts lower on Wednesday. I don't see anything on it yet. I see something on ADRs. No, yeah, that's big. That's what I was saying. I saw it on the low, but usually you could kind of tell when it's trading on something. I don't see a headline, but that's decent. It's like half of the zone. Again, 5%, 3%. Those are moves that usually you pay attention to. We are kind of following TLT, but keep in mind, TLT is kind of following Japan. Oust, again, this one we hit the other week on Tesla. It was related to like Tesla LiDAR shit, but that is advancing. So keep your eyes on that one. HQY, Health Equity, a decent pop. It's a liquid, so the pops look a little bigger, but HQY says 0.87. It's up a little bit more from the bottom. Again, I mean, a health play going good. They were the leader earlier, then started to chill. They got a bunch of upgrades the other day. That's it. Again, HQY still minimal trading. Hertz on the high now. And Fulcrum. There appears to be an agreement. New baseline for each OPEC will be determined by 2025. So Hertz up 1.5. MP a new high. Watch NVO and then CVS. CVS and UNH might run along too. Rexford. All right, man. You got a couple of random ones. Yeah, MP is up and the premiums are going with it. Whoa, Core Weave. Womp, womp, womp. Alright, I'm going to go back to those. Let's see, though. RTX flushing, too, now. Oh, whoa, RTX, bigger flush. Yeah, RTX coming down. I don't have a headline on that one. So, C. Oh, I whiffed it already. Partial. Oh, did I get the other ones? Yeah, RTX, big drop. I got one cheap one. I don't know if the other one's filled. Yeah, I got some. I'm already up 1,000 on one. Oh, yep, the other ones are hitting. RTX. I don't know the headline. German involvement. Is it golden news? I'm going to flip one of them real quick. Live. All right, bounced a little bit. The 1 cent ones hit. The other ones are up too. All right. He's talking at IR conference. So yeah, I don't know what the headline is, but it's moving. I already made one free, couple 100%, and then I have 1,000%er. So yeah, I'm already in it. I already fucking snaked the fuck out of that. Okay, which ones are those? All right, I sold the other ones near the money. I'm holding the free ones. Literally 1,500% on the out of the monies. I'm just going to ride those out. And that is it. Actually, let me make some of them free. Please hold while we connect your long term. All right, I'm booking some at 500% just to get paid. Oh, no way. All right. Ooh, I should have held that one. Damn. The ones I sold early, those just kept going now. So I did good, though. Couple 100%. Then I got one 500% realized. The other ones are sitting 1,500 unrealized. Is that, oh, qubits. I thought that was oust. But yeah, RTX, they're just speaking at an event. As I already took profits on it. You have a good bag, but the spreads are wild. Do what you need to do. But yeah, we're pretty much done with that, I would say. In and out, baby. In and out. Fastest in the world. I don't know why everything's dumping. Just yesterday was a big day. Kind of went up. You didn't really have any news, so I don't know if no news is good news or not. And then we just chilled. So, but other than that, this is all pre-earnings in my mind. I wouldn't freak out. I wouldn't overestimate. Don't underestimate. Don't be too certain. And yeah, by the middle of the day, you know, this might even change a lot more. Hog on the high. Boeing's now dropping. So watch the other ones maybe. Yeah, because look, LMT's starting to go out. So like RTX is speaking. They have to be guiding down in some capacity. Yeah, now you got a couple of other ones moving. Ugh. These are already up. Yeah, the spreads are crazy though. Oh, that one would have been great. Yeah, LMT dropping now too. Pony. EDHL. Okay, SPY's even come in again. Boeing, LMT, L3 Harris, RTX. RTX is speaking at a conference, but they're all coming down in tandem. So yeah, new low on Boeing now. Watch LMT and RTX. We already got our hit on RTX, but it's actually still going. And then MP, that one's still climbing. We had the bad Airbus news too, but I think they're saying something else. That's why it just dropped 2-3% real quick out of nowhere. Our bank's down, yeah. The best place to go for live news? Not here. Definitely not here. So I'll ban you so you could find the fast place easy. I don't want to hate. I'm sorry for distracting you. Yeah, but definitely not here. You will not find it here. No. We're slow, if anything. We're very slow. You don't hear the music in the background? Lucy. Innovative eyewear. War be down. Apple is starting to climb. OPEC has agreed to use 25 output levels for 2027 baseline. OPEC to mandate OPEC's secretariat to develop mechanism to assess countries' maximum sustainable capacity to be used as preference for 2027. OPEC to meet next on November 30th. That's coming out now, but I'm pretty slow, so I'm sure other people have that before. That might be like 10 minutes old, even though it's just coming out right now. Yeah, OPEC, separate meetings, July and November. Watch Apple, Google, Microsoft, RTX bouncing. I got still cheap contracts, but I already made some of them free. No, Twitter's just been broken, dude. I feel like the last 2 weeks, my Twitter randomly works or it doesn't. It's the craziest thing ever. So yeah, that might just be your only issue. Key. Yo, whatever Key is, up by 1.5. My goodness. Key. Did I get these? I think. Oh, that's a fat ass pop, bro. 2.3. Key Corp. I already snaked the shit out of them again. Super cheap, too. So get a little bit of time on that one. If you're going to do it, you can play them for less than $10. $5 even. So yeah. But honestly, they didn't pop too crazy yet. Oh no, whoa, no, they did. One of them did. I got filled at 2 cents on one of them. Key Corp, large regional. No, I don't see a headline on it. So it could be a dud. Be careful. That's enough to get a little excited, but that's it. You don't have anything guaranteed yet. Just paid dividend. I don't know. I'm gonna check news on it. I was able to snake the 2 cent ones real quick. Let's see. Key Corp. Key hosts free panel for non-local profits. They might be at an event too. Let me check. That's a fat pop, but it stopped moving. And then again, you saw MP earlier. That had a pop like that and then chilled. And then Oklo's going crazy right now. In WCC. They're at a conference. Key Corp, yeah, May 28th at 8 a.m. Yeah, they're at the Berenstein thing. I have it. We could listen to it, but I don't know if you can. Then CLGN. This just had a pop and lock. And then Oklo, then China selling off. Bonds catching a bid. SPY coming near the low. And then where was that? Key. Yeah, that was the one that was just there. I'm gonna sell out one set of Key Corp at 100%. Give me some free ones. Nice. And then the other ones are still just barely up. It's a fat spread though. Again, SPY just whiffed into a low. Oh, where's RTX? Yeah, that one's still up there. IMCC, is that the one from yesterday? Oh, that's a cannabis company. No, the one from yesterday was like IMNN or something. Yeah, I didn't. I'm Cannabis. That's what this company's called. Data. We got Fed minutes at 2, so it's still kind of early. We got Euro close in 15 minutes, so get ready. It's been a one-way route all morning. Let's see if your boy changes that. Again, Euro close might kind of shift the dynamic. So we will see. Watch RTX 2. That one's still chilling. Again, I got out of one of the keys at 100%. Still got another cheap one. And then we flipped RTX. What else did we do today? That was it. And then not. Yeah, MP still going. Chill. We're after Euro close. We're gonna make like a nice little Euro close move, and then I think we're gonna do nothing for a couple of hours, and then end of the day, final earnings volume, and then that's it. All about nvdA, baby. All about nvdA, baby. IMNN, that's the one. U.S. says it has enough petroleum from other countries other than Iran. Oust again on the high. Ouster. So that one's still moving. China's magnet export curbs could halt India auto production by end of May, early June. Indian auto industry body document. No idea what that means. There's something about cars in India and China policy. And then look at the bonds, you guys. So we're about 13 minutes ahead of Euro close. SPY kind of already meandering, but then bonds recovered a little bit. DGLY, I remember this shit. Yeah, DGLY on the high and lemonade on the low. Dollar pop a little bit, yeah. Or UUP's not showing it. Apple has been. Apple's good, but it's like chilling. Watch Google and Amazon, even Meta, but they all kind of look like the SPY. So we are waiting for the big tech. Let me take a look at equal weight. I haven't looked all day. Oh yeah, equal weight's down even more. So yeah, big tech's saving you. The same exact thing as yesterday. But, you know, big tech helped you to the upside. This time it's helping you to the downside. SMCI. U.S. says they could do significant reduction in Iranian petroleum. Tesla, big pop. A little bit, dollar. So finally moving, but see if that could break out of here, that could be good. Other than that, though, it's moving. But yeah, Tesla is getting some energy. It's not like crazy, but it's if that goes one more dollar, that candle's going to look a little bigger. Oh. Ooh, some of those are cheap earlier. Key came right back down, yeah. Even the options, the second one didn't even hit that crazy. Let's see where they're at. Again, I sold the first one out at 100. The other ones are back to the same price as before the pop. What are things that offend me? Nothing. But I'm banning you for that comment. So yeah, most people, I don't get offended. I don't like getting distracted though. So just if you guys want to save these weird ass comments till later, that'd be fine. I'm not answering any more long-term ones. You guys burned that opportunity this morning. No one's offended. No one's mad. It's not that personal. Don't get caught up in the socials of stock market online. And yeah, get a long-term. But you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Focus. Focus, baby. I mean, people are trying to rage bait, but let it be known, I've hit a 1,500 percenter and then another 100 percenter in that same time frame. So, like I'm saying, lock in, motherfuckers. Lock in. Woo! Game time. Enter is up. Well, just wait for off-topic questions till after Philo. Yes, a lot of Philos. Vibe, baby. Vibe. Be still. IMST. Low ticker is still a little bit more active. You got Shopify. Actually, first set of highs. RTX bounced up. DVS. I've seen this move a couple of times now. A liquid small caps. You're going to get a brand new one of these every other hour, it looks like. MP again. Habibi. Yeah, then Google, then UNH chilled out, bro. Last hour after leading. Ouster again, and then Holo. So, yeah, UNH is the premiums are chilling. That's it. Okay, SPY. Now it's catching up with bonds. Yeah, that MP's starting to go. If you have a little bit of time, it's good. Otherwise, it's a decent gain. All just depends. If NVIDIA changes, that'll be great. Yeah, see if even Core Weave starts to play along. But, yeah, that could be decent. MP. All right, watch Core Weave. Don't forget about it. That was a big move, and then it chilled a little. But like I said, Euro close, and then after we get Euro close, let's see if that dynamic changes. Again, it's only 7 or 8:30. Expedia kind of popping into the high. I haven't seen any other travel name. And then Sprouts on the high, so a couple of names moving up. Remember, you had more names that were green or red. Tesla's been working. It's up from there. Yeah, Core Weave just moving with NVIDIA. So that's why if you think that's going to start lining up, you could go for it. Otherwise, you wait. I think big tech is going to... It's either you need the other 490 to broaden out, or big tech will be the make or break it on whether or not we, really get a rally and hold it up. MRA, there's SPY again. Yeah, bonds led the way. That's what I thought was interesting. They kind of led us on the way down. And then you have that Japanese impact. But, yeah, see, because if bonds keep going, then it might be hard for the market to ignore it. Otherwise, though... Long story short, I think the markets can't ignore the bonds. So we'll find out. And then again, no matter what, all of this is still pre-NVIDIA day. Okay. And then 5 minutes. I hope you guys do your push-ups. Okay, it's Euro close time in 5 minutes. So get up to move the body. Illumina on the high. Oh, Illumina kind of has volume. What is this? Wait, yeah, get up. I need to go pee again, bro. I've had a lot of water this morning. Illumina. Oh, Illumina's below volume. Oklo again. Yeah, bro. Oklo is moving around some of the other news plays, and then now that's still going. Keys is getting more volume, and it's getting a little bigger. All of the Keys plays are now, gapping up. They're up about, 50% now. So it was gradual, but now it's hitting. I do share the long-term holdings. It's on this channel. It's on my Twitter as well. I pin it. Every time I make a post, I make an Instagram video. Wow, isn't that cute? I'm such a cutie. But other than that, if you go on this channel and hit the post tab, there's literally post. It's all on there, and you could see it. And I love to share the long term. That's it. But at the same time, though, you gotta just listen to the rules, and hopefully you can follow through with them without having to be reminded. But if you do it, you will get money and walk away with something. And I hope all of you make sure that you walk away from this stock game with something, because doing that personally changed my life. You know, trades were good, but like I'm telling you, being able to walk away with a trophy and letting it add up, oh man, it's amazing. Watch STX, they're next up at the conference. Let's see. So yeah, it's not expected to have crazy volume. That's crazy. Most of the volume, 20% of STX traded today at 117.70. So most of the volume is right here on the stock today. So it's up 0.8, but it's just holding. So yeah, that's good info. Eyes up on STX. They're about to speak at that conference. Most of the money is right here. It's like smack dab in the middle. So you're either going to get a good or a bad update and little wick up or down. So watch out for that. RVMD. Ouster again. All right. I'm going to go to the bathroom now. BRB. Follow me on Instagram at The Traded Fraternity. Real Code News on Twitter. You can find that long term, baby. You can find... I'll show you. See, look. Go to the Twitter, and it's pinned. Wow. That was the last time I added. That's how the long term looked. So the last time I made an addition to the long term, it looked like that. Ain't that something? But yeah, we have 3 accounts. We have a big account with $250,000. And then there's a small account, which is $300 a month with about 28 grand. And then the smallest account with $200 a month. And that one's at 14 grand. That one's called Colt Sister. But yeah, that's all on the Twitter, Real Colt News. So I'll see you there. But now, I will BRB. Who's this?
So, first of all, we're very grateful that the president is interested in these companies. You know, he essentially leads it because he's actually the only one who can hire and fire this position that I'm in. So, we're very happy that the president is focused on this. I would point you to his tweet. He very explicitly says that he wants to take them public. He did not say that he wants to privatize them and many of the other things that are out there. I think that these businesses have a ton of value. Sarah, I think these businesses one day could be worth trillions of dollars. And we'll see what the president ultimately decides.
What is the why? Why you would want to take these companies public? How does it help homeowners?
Well, first of all, think about it this way. In some ways, there is one security that is publicly traded, but you have a very somewhat complicated capital structure as it is right now. One of the interesting things, too, is that the Supreme Court ruled in 2021 that the FHFA director could be fired by the president. That is very different from President Trump's first term. So President Trump now has control over the Federal Housing Finance Agency as well as U.S. Treasury, and this opens up all kinds of ideas. So whether the president decides to sell a small piece or what have you, that's entirely up to the president, but I think the opportunities are endless, and if there's one person who knows how to make a deal, it's going to be President Trump.
So I guess, okay, so we haven't figured out, I guess, the contours of how much would go into fully public. What about the implicit guarantees? What exactly does that mean? And how is it different than explicit guarantees?
Well, we're currently in an implicit guarantee environment, a lot of people say. We are in conservatorship. Interestingly, the president has not said anything that he wants to end conservatorship. We're studying, actually, potentially keeping it in conservatorship and taking it public. However, this would be entirely up to the president.
Bro, this is
he
Bill
is essentially
Pulte.
the conservator, and
so he's talking a little bit about the Fannie Mae stuff. But do you guys want to know something crazy?
To monetize this asset, but
dude,
ultimately
Homeboy's only 37 years old,
and when he wants to, if he even wants
Isn't that
to
crazy?
monetize the asset.
The CEO of Pulte
what are you proposing?
and the head of the FHA is 37 years old.
Well, I'd rather not say what I'm specifically recommending, but I do believe that the president, is doing a great job with inflation. I think he's doing a great job with home ownership.
Sound 60,
and I think these are two businesses, frankly, that could benefit from him continuing to be in control of it. And that's why he said, I believe last night, or at least this is what his tweet said, that he would be staying in control and running them. And I think that's a very good thing for America. We need somebody who understands interest rates and housing and mortgages, and President Trump understands all of those.
But clearly, Bill, you must be at least sounding out the MBS market, the bond market, with ideas of how they would receive any of these scenarios that you're laying out. How do you keep them from remembering the hot stove of 2008?
Well, that's something that Secretary Besson, Secretary Lutnick, and I are working on, and ultimately we'll brief the president, but it will be the president's decision. I actually think that some of the things that the president has said could compress spreads. Why? Because he's taking an interest in this. I mean, we've never had a president that has been this interested in these companies.
Born
Carl,
in
we had
1988.
16,000 people at Fannie and Freddie. Virtually nobody was showing up in these offices,
28th of May.
You had food being made
birthday,
everywhere. The staff was there to make the food, but nobody was there to eat it. So we are getting these businesses to run as businesses, and I'm very grateful that the president is supporting us. And look, it'll be up to him to decide what he wants to do, but I'm very confident he'll make the right decision.
I just want to get
I could see where everything
theory,
traded
one risk
on
that's
STI,
talked about
on every
commonly
stock.
as a result of ending conservatorship, and I know you said that's up to the president and you haven't made a decision yet, is that they would have to hold more capital
This is on
to
CNBC
absorb
right now.
losses, and that could put
Because again,
upward
they did a
pressure
press
on
conference
mortgage
this
rates.
morning.
And that's definitely
There's some
something that we don't want to see
Palantir
right
thing
now.
with Pulte.
Is that true?
Well, what could be very interesting is keeping it in conservatorship and going public.
So like I was saying, you can see 20% of the volume.
We'll look at it, we'll study it.
The
Secretary
purple line
Besson,
is the
Secretary
VWAP.
Lutnick and I are
And then
very
you can
committed
see
to making
these
sure
are the prices
that the mortgage
below.
bond market doesn't have
So
any
12,
interruption.
15,
We want a safe and sound
18,
market. We will have a safe and sound
22,
market.
26,
And like Secretary Besson said, we hope to see
29,
mortgage spreads
probably 30%
compress
is below
if and when we were to do
116
anything.
and 117.
Yeah, we've been hoping for that day where we get to see a little more compression in the spread. I've noted you've been pretty vocal, Bill, on Twitter, telling the Fed chair he needs to lower rates to undo the damage you argue that the President Biden did to the mortgage market. But we do know that the average 30-year fixed is higher now than it was in September when we first got that 50 basis point cut. What gives you the confidence that a trim by the Fed would give us
is kind of running on every fashion. Look at STX.
Well, Chairman Powell, who I
so again, STX is holding up here. They're at the conference. They're about to get it.
It's nothing personal. It's just I don't understand why, if inflation is where it is right now, which is lower than the last 2 or 3 times he cut it, why isn't he cutting it right now? It doesn't make sense. I mean, you tell me, why did he cut it right before the election, but now when inflation is lower, he's not cutting? I think I know why. I'd like to not say, but I really would like to see rates get cut. I support the president in that regard, and I believe that it would also really help the housing market, Carl. Because he was too late last time, people got locked into these rates in these homes. And now you have basically existing home sales, which are in the tank for the last 4 years. Nobody was buying existing homes for the most part for the last 4 years. We need to get that inventory going, Carl, to get this housing supply churning in this country. And when you have people trapped with these interest rates, it's very hard to get that existing housing supply moving.
Yeah, we saw the figures for April, not good
yesterday.
on existing. Is there a magic number that you think would get things moving?
Yeah, and then VIX on the high now as we're going lower.
Some action
again, ELF popping to the high.
I think he can make a world of difference.
Again, you're getting a little bit of push and pull.
I know the president feels
again, we're going lower.
This, and I follow the president's lead on this. He's got a great gut instinct, but in addition to the instinct is you look at Powell. He was cutting rates when inflation was higher. President Trump has come into office. He's reduced egg prices, reduced gas prices. We've even seen it in housing products, Carl. Housing products are down.
I'll just defend Powell for a moment. The reason they cut in fall wasn't the election. It was because they were worried about the job market, because we started to see a few very bad job reports, and so they wanted to get ahead of any weakness there. And what we've seen since then is the job market's been very healthy and very robust
it did that yesterday too.
Through the last few months, which doesn't really increase the urgency for them to cut rates.
And then MP is expected to have the biggest volume
the
day of the
urgency
week.
is that you have a housing market that would greatly benefit, in my view.
Most of the people on MP are at like 1910.
It would get existing home sales going and restore the American dream quicker. I think that the president will be successful no matter what. But I just, you're asking my opinion. I think that Jerome Powell should be cutting rates, and I think it would greatly help the housing market.
I think the housing market, the industry would agree with you on that. On FICO, so you've been complaining, you're not happy with them. What sort of changes do you want to see, and what exactly are you not happy about?
Hey, SPY going lower with the VIX.
Well, they passed on a 40% price increase that I don't think had any legitimate basis to do it. But
how
as you
do
know,
I feel about what she
said?
My brother
in
Christ.
Complying with the president's executive order.
You know how I feel.
Housing costs. He's made getting inflation down a big priority, and we're going to continue to do it.
That's why I genuinely, it's a cult.
We need to have competition. One of my roles in this regulated
exactly
position,
what I believe
Sarah,
and
is
feel.
Literally, it says that we need to make sure that there's a competitive environment.
But you're just not in the cult like that.
Why are they passing 40% price increases on? So I think it's tone deaf, and I think that they have a lot of work to do. And I'll tell you, I've been in this job now for 9 weeks, and I've heard a lot from a lot of different people about a lot of different companies, and I've never heard so many people being upset as I have with FICO.
Okay, SPY a little lower.
What can you do about
it? Is this below 59? It's about to be 5903. That was the last level.
These days,
5900, and then that's
I'm sure it still is a great company. But
then we just play the
in
58
the age of
game
automation
again.
And AI, credit scores, we need to just make sure that they're as low cost as possible. We want companies to thrive. We want to stay out of companies' businesses. But when they're passing 40% price increases on, when people can't, for the last 4 years, afford the American dream, we're exploring all ways to reduce costs, and this is just one of them. I don't even know if it has to do with my tweets, the stock price. I'd be surprised, frankly, because my tweets were, somewhat.
I think it did.
Bill, your tweet took FICO down the biggest single day stock performance to the downside in 20 years.
But that may say more about FICO than it does about my tweets, respectfully, right? It's not normal for somebody to be able to tweet and have it affect the stock price like that. So it also begs the question, what is FICO doing? What are they doing to innovate? And, that will be for the markets.
Get ready. You're 7 minutes from your
I'm just focused as the regulator on reducing
costs. Oil ripping.
But does the FHFA,
we got, it could be OPEC
headline, to
big
change
oil
the
pop.
pricing model of
FICO.
FICO?
Oil up about what? 80
well,
cents?
we are looking, as you know, at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We're looking at every way to reduce costs. And that includes the credit pulls, that includes which companies we have doing things. A lot of people say that FICO has a quasi or natural monopoly. So we're talking with all the different companies. And
USO,
again,
bro.
I have
Oil's
nothing against
going
FICO, but I'm just saying that they need to be careful with the cost because they've attracted a lot of attention, and people in our industry are very upset, Sarah.
I just got one more, Bill, on Fannie Freddie, and I mean, you were around for 2008. You remember the financial crisis. We talked a lot about it this morning with Kramer. I just wonder what you remember from that era.
Microsoft flushed into
and how much of
see
that
if the
lesson
can
for
catch
the economy
bid
sort of
then,
informs your current view about the markets.
Well, they're absolutely critical, and I appreciate the question because $7.8 trillion is in these companies, Carl, and we have a president that is finally interested in these assets. It's a great thing.
His name's Bill
I don't know why these other presidents weren't
Holmes.
interested in it. So I welcome the president's support. He'll make the right decision. The market will be safe and sound. And I actually think MBS spreads may compress over time. And like I said, we're studying all avenues. But at the end of the day, we're running these things like businesses. And Carl, mark my words, in a year, 2, 3, 5 years from now, these businesses will be stronger than ever before and way more valuable than ever before.
Well, the valuable investors are certainly excited. I think Congress has to be on board.
Again, he's talking about
Bill,
Fannie
while we have
and
you, I
Freddie
do want to hear
now.
about this Palantir partnership and with Fannie Mae and how it's going to cut down on mortgage-related fraud, which is a big issue.
It is. Palantir is going to be great. We have $7.8 trillion,
that was
like
the
I
Palantir
said.
thing,
We have
the
mortgages
Palantir.
that haven't
Told
really
you they were
benefited
partnering with
from
them.
having AI applied across it. We've been very big, Sarah, as you may have seen, on occupancy fraud and some of these things. Fraud increases price. Again, it doesn't have to do with FICO or title insurance or what have you.
UNH climbing. UNH premiums calm down. They're still up from the morning,
as long as it doesn't
depending on what
jeopardize
strike and time,
soundness.
Some of them
fraud
have lag,
so,
which is good.
Alex Karp, I've been very impressed with him. We'll probably
I think they're using
also see if they can
Palantir
help
to
Freddie.
spot mortgage
Maybe
fraud.
also invite XAI
That's the whole
to
idea.
look at that as well. But I think we're going to be stunned with some of the fraud
Which is good.
we see.
Again,
I don't think it's a systemic issue.
We've seen the
but
fucked up
definitely
shit
we
with
don't want
real
fraud in
estate
our
and
mortgage
prices,
markets.
but You know, if you actually can
any
combat fraud, that could help make a better real estate market.
You're picking the issues: affordability, Fannie, Freddie. Can we expect a timeline here? Weeks, months?
We're working very hard. We're working in Trump time. We're going to keep working in Trump time, getting things done as long as it doesn't jeopardize safety and soundness. And a lot of people said you guys have done a lot. Well, all we're doing is following the law and the statute. If it's not in the law and it's not in the statute, we're not doing it. And these are not social engineering things. These are mortgage companies now, and we're going to run them like businesses.
FNMA and FMCC, they want to take them public. We had this on the watch list
thank you for joining us to talk through it all. Very easy.
A lot of the stocks
we
already
appreciate
popped
it.
with it.
Bill Pulte, FHFA Director.
Still ahead this morning, there's a growing disconnect in AI that could test investor patience.
Again, Bill Pulte, he's the head of the FHA, and he's just a young guy. I didn't know he was that young. White House to send Doge cuts to Congress next week. Palantia. But welcome back, Chad. You are 10 minutes, 11 minutes off Euro close. HSI becomes official robo-taxi partner of Resorts World Las Vegas. HSAI, they're popping off of it, honestly. You might be onto something there. Any cheap premiums? No cheap premiums. Boo. Yeah, they're already jacking up the 10-cent ones. If they had cheap ones, I would have took it, but that's all you, big dog. You could go for the cheap ones if you'd like, but they jacked up the spreads. But yeah, decent. It's not 2%. Lux. I want to dump that one. Okay, spy a little bit, whatever this is. Another small cap runner. Neutrala popping. NTLA. Intellia Therapeutics. Oh, I whiffed. Wrong button. Oh, did I? I think I might have. Neutrala. Oh, it's up 5%. Not on that candle. That was a third of it. There was a 5-cent one. And then Sprouts going up too. I don't like that one as much though. But there was a cheap one. Yeah, SFM. We saw that one earlier. There's your boy. Yeah, White House plans to send small package of Doge spending cuts next week to Congress. And SPY coming right back down, so be careful. EHang. Oh, wow. EHang really going. What's this one? Yo, related to China? EHang? Oh, these suck. Yeah, they jacked up that whole chain there. I have no idea. It's Mata Liquid. EHang. 2 Republicans said will target NPR and PBS as foreign agencies. Sweet Greens is nothing related to Sprouts, unfortunately. Yeah, watch EHang. There's a lot of option volume on there. But I don't like the plays. Who the fuck is buying that? I don't like it. I'm gonna punt. But watch out for that. That's 4% though. That's huge. I don't want to punt, but I hate these plays. I don't like this chain. But EHang, EH. Everything is telling me though that's again 4% move. That's a trigger, bro. I'm just not doing it. I'm whiffing it. No, good luck. Google big sell. SPY near the low. MP just breaking out now. Livewire again. There's EHang again. But yeah, like I said, all those contracts are just very difficult. That's the part I don't like about it. Yeah, MP still climbing. That was a great one. And then who else? We had the key one. I still have one of those cheap ones left. That one's still expected to have big volume, believe it or not. And then nvdA, CoreWeave, they're just chilling. Bro. All right, I got rid of the MPs. That was 50%. They were decent, and I want to hold it, but I'll take my money. That's some more, yeah. Anything nuclear, MP had a weird opinion rumor. That's where we flipped it today. It's not bad. nvdA, I don't know. I think it's about $10 or 10%. It's gonna be a lot. Oh, where's UNH? Yeah, man, all day though, but this is earnings. This SPY just looks like any Apple chart or any big tech, but we'll see. SGD on the high. And then where's Sweet Greens? Sweet Greens is up. So yeah, Sweet Greens and Sprouts are very different companies, just as a FYI. I love Sweet Greens, bro, but sadly, we've seen this stock go up a lot, but you know, when we first were talking about what we like about it, the stock was at $9, so gotta wait. And then where is the long term? Did JD Vance go live yet? Just remember, we're supposed to hear from JD Vance at the Bitcoin thing. We still climbing. Pfizer on the low. Info is going up. Yeah, Holo's been going up too all day. Microsoft had an early sell. You guys were talking about Google, but Microsoft is, I think, the only big tech that hit into a new low on that whole little fiasco. So yeah, Google wanted to come down, but like literally Microsoft advanced and declined lower. And remember, Microsoft takes down the Dow. BWXT on the high, Expedia is still going, Zeekr on the low. nvdA, India selling off. Gotta catch 'em all, not to mine. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide, bum, bum, bum. To buy stocks is my real test, to hold them through the highs. Down. So yeah, it's a good one. LVWR. Livewire again. Wasn't this thing down 50%? Or am I tripping? I thought this was down in the morning. That was a random runner yesterday, but usually this is that lesson I was teaching you guys the other day. This is just like volume bullshit. So like usually if it goes through and still has this much demand, it's just gonna run off of that. Fuck. Hold on, I'm not making a play. I'm just pulling up my my volume shit. Yeah, I can't get good volume on this one. It's weird. I could only get VWAP, but it's not calculating it. VWAP is 352 with most transactions here. Again, the stock's at 403. Nobody's bought in here. So literally, bro, less than 3% of the transactions have occurred at a higher price from here. So less than 3% of people bought here. Everybody literally 8, 4, it's like 30, 40% was bought below 350. So 30-40% of the volume was bought below here. So yeah, we'll see. But that one's going. Equifax going up. EFX. Again, we're seeing Pulte and that other stuff. B of A rehires Moriarty as vice chair of tech investment banking. Yeah, Equifax now really running. I saw Expedia run a couple of times. I thought it was interesting. Yeah, watch Equifax, and again, you just saw the FICO. SPY kind of turning. Google and Microsoft is holding answers, my brother. Like I'm telling you, Microsoft was the first one to advance lower. Apple's doing great, and then I think Google, that gave you a little bit of the lead, and then now adding some drag. But otherwise, you need a big tech runner, or if they don't move, you need 400 names to just totally flip right now to the positive. LTBR. Power with that side. Given. Where's the ones from yesterday? Where's the Navitas? And Pizza. Yeah, Navitas, that thing hit 8 in the morning. Hasn't done anything. Rivian on the high. Pizza. It's down. Rivian starting to move. You appreciate. We'll get it long term, baby. For real. It's all we need in life. And then you guys could buy me a house one day. I think I'm going to buy you guys a house before you buy me one. So we'll see. We'll find out. The game is on. But for real, though, you know, I've seen a lot of good results as a result of this stream. So please get a long term, you guys. And like I've been talking about, that's the guaranteed money. That's what's been paying out. It's been changing people's lives. And I think a lot of you are realizing what's possible and that you could accomplish a lot. And you could accomplish almost anything you want. But you got to give yourself the tools. And I hope you plan and think about your future. I sell MP and then it rips. But yeah, amen. Excess Expedia again. SPY's holding, but we've done this all day, bro. It's been 2 hours of this shit. 2.5 hours. LT is peace and consistency. I'll wait. Just wait. I got a good philo today, you guys. I got a good... You have an hour still. But I might remind you guys, if you would like to get a membership right now, it might be good for you. It might pay you. It might. I can't guarantee it, but it's good. Good to have. Oh, wow. No way. Okay, they didn't fill that. Pegs on hand. Oh, thank you, my friend. And welcome. There you go. But don't buy the membership if you don't want to hear Jesus. Because that's what you're paying for. Oh, man. It's running. MP. I whiffed. Not really, but you get the vibe. Cold on the hot. Core weave ripping. Let's see. I wanted one, but it wasn't looking good. I needed more preem decay. This might even work out in our favor. Because if it goes up and then doesn't follow through, everything's cheaper. Holo still going. Oh, BITX. Ooh, 2x Bitcoin strategy just got dumped on. I don't know if the dollar's holding up the market, but that is one of the main dynamics at play. Again, what happens with the dollar, rates, policy. These are very, very big things. And we still haven't really gotten reactions. And then SPY wants to break out of here, but nothing really. NNE on the low. Nuclear. And then Okta is still going. That was bad earnings. Again, NNE, bro. And then Cadence. What's this? CDNS? Yo, isn't this related to chips and AI? BB. Yeah, Cadence, CDNS. Pinduo. Natural gas futures extend losses ahead of June contract rollover. I know Cadence is related to NVIDIA and the whole AI. And then Oust, bro. That one's like kind of gradual, but it still keeps going. And then Editas, we got free shares of that. Again, a couple of crazy biotech runners. NVO might flush. NVS already flushing. And then again, NNE and where's Oklo? Yeah, Oklo's starting to come down, but literally nuclear finally selling. Austin, Tesla, and then Cadence. Meta plans to open physical stores? No! No! Fuck! Alright, Walmart and Microsoft on the low. And then your boy... Dude... What is he doing? Cooper Steel CPS? 40-cent pop? That's actually kind of decent. They're tweaking these out. Did they fill that shit? Yeah, bro, that's huge. That's 4%. It's a liquid as fuck, but yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. What did I get? Oh. Dude, I just fucked up. Oh, dude, I've made it free way too. Fuck. I just sold half my contracts out at the same price I paid. I didn't adjust the limit order. Fuck. All right, well, either I have half as many. I got a small gain on that, but yeah. I was trying to put in the limit for the free, but then I didn't adjust the price. Yeah, watch that out. It's steel, so it's related to US or X and all of that. Yeah, I had the Meta news, but dude, I think it's bad news. I don't like it when Meta tries to do new shit. I don't like it when they start spending money and then on these like weird ass projects, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to watch out for, but yeah, that did just come out. Bro, CPS. Yeah, bro, I fucked up. So that's good, though. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with that, but for a stock that's a 5% move. You may not realize it. Yo, and TransUnion running. Again, you had Equifax moving on all of that other stuff, but literally TransUnion's moving now, too. And then Livewire, jeez. And then CPI, that hit, bro. Fuck. The plays actually haven't moved yet, but yeah, I sold out half of them for no reason. Is that halted yet? They have to. Not really, but yeah, that's 7%. That's Soldelco. I don't even know what it meant. And then look at STX now. So again, I put out a stream alert to watch both sides for the volatility pop. Honestly, it kind of worked. It just depends where you priced it, where you got the price at. Yeah, STX, remember, they're at that event. And then CPS is not halted. Plays haven't gone up yet. All depends where you got filled. But yeah, I have no idea what that news is. We just saw the 6-7% pop. And then STX. And then Meta said they're opening physical stores. I don't know what the hell that means. CoreWeave Premium working now. Let's see. Even UNH moving. If we just need to get out of this. Otherwise, it's been one way. One way or another. I'm on a long time. I'm on a long time. One way. Palo Alto on the high. Yeah, CoreWeave is going. CoreWeave's actually going ahead of NVIDIA. Again, TransUnion on the high too. All these Equifax, TransUnion, FICO plays, all getting some activity. TRU. Okay, another set of candles. A walk-in VR meta. I don't know what it is, but like I said, I don't like it when they spend money, and then if it's hard to profit as much as they do on the ads. Quantum, QNTM, Argentina, YPF, and then like I said, Palo Alto. Doesn't Pauly have earnings? And then TSM now on the high. Only 67 of them. Yeah, so TSM starting to break out now. About to go green after being red all day. Chop City. WDC, that could be up in relation to STX. So watch out for that. Too. I know, man. Earning. That's the funniest part. Just wait. Because by the end of the day, you're going to just start seeing things moving. And then everybody feeling a certain way, bro. And then, yeah. Just earnings. Don't forget. Ow. NVIDIA down. I think I get the money from the stickers if it's a dono. Meta gonna sell Oculus and Ray-Ban. That's why I'm scared. I'm like, what are they gonna make a store for? But I hope it doesn't cost a lot. And then SPY, just you've done this 5 times. Literally hit a low, bounce up to the other high, sell off, 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 and then, yeah, you've done that again and again. Oh, Mr. Banana. Banana. Okay, CPS still going. Those options are surprisingly the same price. RTX2, if you recall that. TSM, like I said, is still running up. Lavrov, Russia proposes next round of Russia-Ukraine peace talks take place on June 2nd. And then Reed Hastings to join Anthropic's board. Nice. And Mr. Hanlon Marcus Hanana. Banana. Oh, Tony To, baby. Welcome. Welcome. Zip popping at the high, and then Sprouts. Again, we've called that one out. No real news, just a value play or, again, a staple kind of going up. You even have Shopify, too. I know some of you guys are looking at that. Update on Iran. Iran might agree to pause nuclear enrichment if U.S. recognizes Tehran's right to enrich uranium for civilian uses. Yeah, you're getting Iran headlines. Meta is hiring workers for physical stores. CPS is up 8%. What is this, bro? Oh, man. Then Tissum. SGD, all right, man. This is going to be the highest you've been in like 45 minutes. If we could get above here, you get above 590, bro. This will be the highest since Euro close. But then again, Euro close was like 30 minutes away. Or like an hour. So yeah, it's still pretty early, guys. But we've been meandering on this pre-NVIDIA day. Livewire, again, that thing's still going. Zeker on the low. Again, TSM still ripping, whatever it is. Oh, Doug. I remember that one. No, they just said the buyout stuff like a week or two ago, but I don't think there has even been a follow-up. That is very interesting. Okay, CPS, the premiums, the bids are going, but that's it. But again, very illiquid on that one. And now it's up 8. And then Shopify. So again, there's some in the last hour that just keep hitting the high ticker. So be on watch. Again, the core weave started to ramp up here too. That's the highest core weave has been in a couple hours without NVIDIA. But now NVIDIA is playing along. NVIDIA actually looks great. NVIDIA might go up intraday here if it could break through there. Meanwhile, SPY's still low. Again, it's only 0.25%. NASDAQ's only down by 0.09. So that means the NASDAQ got support from somewhere else. Equal weight is still down by 0.5. So, yeah. NVIDIA, all that matters is guidance. And that's what's going to either impress people or scare them away for AI. Because I said it yesterday, just don't forget, you know, before there was trade wars, before there was Donald Trump, there was AI and DeepSeek. Do you guys remember that? Do you remember? Because, you know, Joe Biden was a little loopy. You know, he wasn't really there. I don't know if you recall. But we spent like a whole year where the number one driving catalyst was AI. AI, guidance, AI, guidance, AI. Oh my God, AI. That's literally banking crisis. Who cares? AI. Your president? Who's the president? It doesn't matter. AI. You remember that? So yeah, that was a big driver in markets ahead of all of this. So that's why this guidance stuff is so key, because that's going to be the determinant of whether or not we continue, you know, another just a huge narrative in the market. AI and the growth there, and, you know, where a lot of people have invested towards. So AI is right at the center of it, so we will see. Zip on the high. SPY's looking good. Again, TSM, a couple of those small caps. Livewire still up. I think that CPS play literally still going as well. A couple of the other ones, even Info, they're the ones I got the buyout. But yeah, like I said, you're approaching like the high of the hour here on the SPY. So not bad. Tessa even. Yeah, oil ripped earlier. Again, they had the OPEC stuff. Yeah, and then it did have that wicked drop and then came back. I don't know what it was, though. Yeah, minutes are at 11. 12:12, I believe. Yeah. And then NNE still dropping. That was another one of those nuclear plays. But yeah, Fed minutes at 2. There was changes to the last statement, but I wouldn't like rely on it too hard. It should be a dud, but you never know in this environment. And then again, we saw last week how quickly, if the market wants to go to tantrum mode, there you have it. So like I'm telling you, I don't think that the Fed minutes is going to really move much. But if the market wants to have a tantrum, then yeah, it could take something small and choose to have a big reaction. So we'll see. It all just depends. Why someone would buy nvdA? Because it's like buying an option. So these ETFs that are designed to like represent other things, you have to read the prospectus. So I'll leave that up to you. But yeah, they're very different. It's a vehicle to invest in certain stocks, but it has a different risk to reward. So if you're buying any of those plays without reading the prospectus, I would argue that you hate your money. I would say you don't even care. OLB Group up 10%. Birkenstock. I like money. You like money? I like money. Oh yeah? You like money? I like money. E-Hang again. I faded the first one. I'm not touching it, but GG's if you got those. MP went up another 10 cents. Oh yeah, where's Lyft? Lyft and Uber. Mint on the high. What the fuck is this? This looks like a buy. Oh, it's a short maturity ETF. This looks like a bill. MP again. Oh, Sweet Grains. That looks decent, but nothing. Plays with time on that one are going to be better. I already was looking in advance, so I'm aware. IMMR. Where's STX? Did that still go from the event? A little bit. You kind of got the volatility pop. Nothing on CPS. I have no idea. Let me double check. But 8% is huge. And then it is expected to go above volume. CPS technology. I don't see anything. Nothing. JD gonna go live soon. So yeah, that was the other event we were waiting for. JD Vance is gonna go live at the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. And then, whisper sweet nothings. QMCO, another quantum company that I don't think is quantum. It just has quantum in the name. But that one's going. The ghetto quantums. Coinbase launches a new wallet. I see the LVMH one. U.S. business will return, but will be complicated as long as tariffs not resolved. Dude, TSM as well. That's been going up all day. Again, these names with quantum in the name are running. ONON on the low. I don't know. Is Nike up? No, Nike sold. Pepsi still down. Healthcare still down. LVMH CEO out talking China. Watch Estee Lauder, RL, and some of the sympathies. That'd be the easiest way to play it, in my opinion. WDC still. E-Hang is again going again. And BWXT. Aye. There is. The poppers are plenty. I don't know if we've had follow through on all of them. That's kind of been the issue. And like I'm saying, like it's oddly low volume, and it's kind of been this, holding pattern ahead of nvdA. There's been some moves. They just don't all have follow through, but it's been decent. Let's see who's leading now. RTX has the most volume so far. And if any, it's not that good. Yeah, CRM. Accenture is actually getting some. I think that stands out. ACN. So yeah, this one's starting to trigger. Believe it or not. JD is live. Let's go, John Daniel.
Who, I got to say, Tyler and Cameron, I think really helped break the dam in Silicon Valley. Because if you remember, you go back to June or July of last year, it feels like forever ago. It's not even a year ago, where Silicon Valley,
Bros pop in, all these food places.
In private that they were going to support Donald Trump for president. They would talk about the fact the Democrats had gone too crazy. We had to get Gary Gensler the hell out of there, but they weren't quite willing to say. But they weren't quite willing to say, at least not publicly, that they were going to take the big step and support Donald J. Trump. And Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, I think they were some of the first big names in Silicon Valley to take that step, and a whole host of people followed them. So Cameron and Tyler, thank you for that. And of course, I want to thank the good people at Coinbase, the organizers of this event, and everybody who made this incredible event possible. It's great to be here with Bitcoin at 108,000, at least when I checked this morning, and as Vice President of the United States. It's great to be here.
More cyber, Fortinet on the high.
Now, you guys know I get to meet a lot of exciting people in my job, but it's been quite a while since I've been to a conference with this level of energy. I mean, hell, you guys came out here at 9 a.m. after a long night, I'm sure, in Las Vegas. You can't do that without a lot of good energy. But I promise I'm not just saying that to juice my own meme coins. But I think it's wrong, actually, to call this just a conference. This isn't a conference of people. This is a movement, and I'm proud to stand with you here today. And I think this conference, this movement of people, is where the future of cryptocurrency in this great country gets decided. So let's start by making one thing abundantly clear. That future is going to be decided by the people, by you, not by unelected bureaucrats. Now, as you all probably know, you've got a star-studded lineup here today, including several of my colleagues in the Trump administration. David, Bo, Hester, I know you're all out there. It's great to be among so many friends and allies. So, I want to speak for just a few minutes about a few things, and I want to talk a little bit about what we've done in the Trump administration. I want to give you a rundown of what this administration is doing on digital assets policy, but I also want to talk about some of the principles that help guide us as we develop this policy. But before that, I want to speak about why I'm personally optimistic about crypto and what it means for the American people. Now, people ask me why I tend to be bullish on the future of innovation in this country. Now, I spent enough time in Silicon Valley to recognize the difference between good tech, technology that boosts our productivity, makes our lives richer, that grounds us in the real world and complements our day-to-day lives. That's the good technology, but there's also some bad technology out there. And when it comes to crypto, I think the last several years have made it clear that we're talking about genuine, ground-up innovation, one that's already improving the well-being of tens of millions of our fellow citizens. I believe it's 50 million Americans own Bitcoin, and I believe that's going to be 100 million before too long. But it's not just about
Okay,
Bitcoin
Spy,
and
low
about the
ticker
value
just woke
that's been
up out of
generated,
nowhere.
the wealth
It's not
that's
off
been
any
generated
comments
by
or
so many
headlines.
millions of our fellow
Eyes peeled.
citizens. Through decentralized finance, crypto has transformed how Americans transact with one another. It's expanded
We're right at
access
the
to banking
59010,
for
if
many
you guys notice.
who may not otherwise have had it. And every single day, I feel like I see some groundbreaking new use of blockchain tech, whether it's in supply chain management, whether it's in hospitals, or whether it's in changing how we track and store patients' private health records. But for each of these new forward-looking applications, I also feel like there's an incredibly conservative element to crypto technology, and that's as a hedge. Crypto is a hedge against bad policymaking from Washington, no matter what party's in control.
Interesting.
It's a hedge against skyrocketing inflation, which has eroded the savings rate of Americans over the last 4 years. And as you all know well, it's a hedge against
they're
the private
pumping Bitcoin
sector
as
that's increasingly
as
willing
the outlet
to
to
discriminate
the
against
budget.
consumers
Think about
on
it.
the basis of their basic
Interesting,
beliefs,
JD.
including their politics.
It's a different. I mean, you guys all have your ideas of pumping. I'm not going to get involved with that.
That
the
includes,
crypto
of course,
topic
debanking
is
users
make money,
for
you guys.
Second
People
Amendment
get lost in the
advocacy
sauce, but
or for ties to
like
the
I'm
first
saying,
Trump
he's
administration. In Canada,
it's
the
funny he
government
talked
did the
about
same
policy
to kill those big
and
truck driver
you know,
protests
people
in
responding to
2022.
policy with an asset.
Less than a week later,
and
they
that's why he's bringing
succeeded.
up Bitcoin.
The
I think that's the
protests were
fascinating
over.
part.
But maybe most importantly, I see crypto as a hedge against one of the most dangerous trends in the digital era in both the public and private sectors. And that's of elites who, rather than innovate themselves, prefer to simply take over and co-opt cutting-edge technologies to assert their control over other people. And I know we believe this in this room. That's not Bitcoin. It'll never be Bitcoin, and you guys are going to make sure that happens. But as you know, there's a new sheriff in town because after 4 years of mistreatment and outright hostility led by Democrat regulators, lawmakers in this country have a choice. Will we lead our nation into a future of financial sovereignty, of innovation, and of prosperity, or will we let unelected bureaucrats and foreign competitors write the rules for us? And I'm here today to say loud and clear, with President Trump, crypto finally has a champion and an ally in the White House. In our administration, we understand the full potential of the digital assets industry, not just as an investment, not just as a flashy technology, but as a symbol and driver of personal liberty for all our citizens. And we are dedicated to seeing that promise fulfilled. The way that we see it, the people in this room are the digital pioneers of the American economy. And that's why our administration is doing something a little unusual in Washington. We're listening to all of you as you blaze the trail of innovation. The innovators in this room are making people's lives better. You're pushing boundaries and solving problems, injecting unprecedented transparency into how we do commerce. And the way we see it, you all deserve a similar level of transparency and clarity. And most of all, you deserve respect and support from your government, not bureaucrats trying to tear you down. Now that means a few substantive concrete steps, and of course the first and most important of those steps is straightforward. We've got to clean up the wreckage that the last administration left us, and since day one, that is exactly what we've been trying to do. Our administration, we prioritize eliminating the rules, the red tape, and the lawfare that we saw aimed at crypto by our predecessors. We're ending the weaponization of federal regulations against this community. To put it simply, Operation Choke Point 2.0 is dead, and it's not coming back under the Trump administration. And by the way, it's crazy that was ever even controversial, the idea of using the regulatory power of the government to crush an industry and to crush people who espoused a view that you didn't like. It's crazy, but let my words today serve as Operation Choke Point. Let me serve as its obituary. Now this is my vow to every single person here. You will never see this administration trying to handicap your community or diminish the impact it's had on the economy. Instead, we reject the Biden administration's legacy of death by 1,000 enforcement actions. We reject regulators. Maybe the most important thing that we did for this community, we reject regulators and we fired Gary Gensler, and we're going to fire everybody like him. And we know that people like Gary Gensler, the game that they played is that under the pretense of consumer protection, they attacked every single effort to democratize our financial markets, and that is over. America. I grew up in a working class family. I believe that America is a place where anyone should be able to make a fortune, no matter where you grew up, what degree you may or may not have. And in recent years, I'm hard-pressed to think of a better place to do so than right here in the digital assets industry. Now, our second substantive step is we're trying to create a clear, pro-growth legal framework for stablecoins in this country. And I know we've got some solid allies in Congress. Is Cynthia Loomis out there today, or did she already go home? Well, you know, I was supposed to have dinner last night with Cynthia Loomis.
Okay, you got a Trump comment, I think, on Truth Social. Can't tell if Putin wants to end war. We'll find out soon. We'll respond differently if Putin's playing with us. It'll take about a week to find out.
Cynthia does not have an excuse
in what happened in Ukraine
to skip this event. But we love Cynthia, and I know that she's one of the great advocates for your industry in the United States Congress. Now, I know, led by Cynthia and other great legislators, Congress is hard at work getting the Genius Act passed and across the president's desk as quickly as possible. And that's an important step. It's with good reason, because regulatory uncertainty in this country has pushed way too much stablecoin activity overseas over
Trump
the last
getting
few
food
years.
to Gaza.
Now,
I don't know if this is a
yesterday,
Truth Social. Let me double check.
Bitcoin has
Trump
done so
having
much
good, because Trump's
over the
talking
last
right now.
few years
It's
with so
looking
many
like
headwinds.
it's reporters.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a government
X
that
is
provided
going
some
up again.
tailwinds to one of the
Yeah,
fastest
X,
growing
big
industries
pop.
in our country, and that's what we aim to do.
He's going to probably be saying the same thing there. BA running now too, yep.
And once the Genius Act is enacted,
look for
it's
the
poised
again.
to
He's talking
vastly
somewhere. I'm
expand
pretty
the
sure.
use of stable coins as a digital payment system for millions of our fellow Americans. It'll also protect coin holders and inject further transparency into the market. And let me be emphatic on one other point. In this administration, we do not think that stable coins threaten the integrity of the United States dollar. Quite the opposite. In fact, we view them as a force multiplier of our economic might. Dollar-pegged stablecoins, particularly once Genius is enacted, is only going to help the American economy, and it's only going to help the American dollar. So, again, we're optimistic that the Senate is able to move quickly on passing a clean Genius Act, and for the House to follow up and do the same. And of course, once that happens, our great President Trump will sign it into law the minute it comes across his desk.
Yeah, Witkoff headline, Trump to review term sheet. Good feelings on temporary ceasefire.
When the administration will then fully shift to our third priority, which is to enact a transparent and tailored regulatory framework for digital assets. One that's pro-innovation and fully incorporates crypto into the mainstream economy. And again, I've talked to so many of you over the last couple of days, and the consistent
Trump
fears
is
that
talking.
I hear
He's going to
with
go
all the
live
great
soon
things
then,
that have happened
because this
over
isn't
the
on
last
Truth
couple
Social.
of months. The consistent fear that I hear is that there's still this perception that digital assets are not welcome in the mainstream economy, and let me promise you that our effort to change the policy is purely about changing that. We want our fellow Americans to know that crypto and digital assets, and particularly Bitcoin, are part of the mainstream economy and are here to stay.
Trump, my words on Russia speak loudly, doing well with Iran and Gaza. Parties in Gaza
now,
still
we
have
think
to
the way
agree.
to do
Think
that
we're going to see something
because,
sensible
again,
with Iran.
I hope that our party
yeah, bro, get
is
ready,
in charge
though,
for a long time.
because he has something
but
else.
nothing is ever
MP's going
guaranteed
again.
in politics. So the best way
So think about it. Literally, these Trump comments are coming out, and then Witkoff comments, so that means he's doing like a joint interview where they're going to announce some shit. You get what I'm saying? And like everybody is there, so watch out for that. Yeah, but literally, you're going to start getting some of that.
In a generation opportunity to unleash innovation and use it to improve the lives of countless American citizens. But if we fail to create regulatory clarity now, we risk chasing this $3 trillion industry offshore in
Trump
search
need
of
to get a lot of support on
jurisdiction,
tax
and
bill,
President
not
Trump is
happy
gonna fight to
about
make sure
certain
that does
aspects of
not
the bill.
happen. Think about this. By locking in smart, pro-innovation rules of the road, we can also make sure that Democrats or anybody else never wage another war on the crypto community. Now, I've already hit my time here, but before I head back to Washington, let me offer you just a few bits of advice and a few thoughts on where this industry is going. This is one politician's perspective, so take it for what it's worth. Maybe a little bit less than one Bitcoin right now. But let me say a few things. First of all, I remember when I ran for Senate the first time I'd ever entered politics back in 2022. And one of the frustrations, honestly, that I had with the crypto community as a person who was one of the only people running for office who actually owned Bitcoin, and I still own a fair amount of Bitcoin today. Think about this. This is during that campaign. That's 2021 and 2022. This feels like an eternity ago, but it was only 4 years ago, is that I recognized what so many advocates of Bitcoin recognize, which is what the Biden administration was doing. What Gary Gensler was doing was a disaster, and yet there didn't seem
Trump
to be
need
any real
all Republican votes
pushing
on the
back
bill
against it at the political level. And let me say that part of the reason that I'm standing
start
here,
thinking, whatever,
part
this
of the
isn't
reason
really
that Bernie
causing any
Moreno
headlines,
defeated
but you should
Sherrod
start
Brown
thinking about
in
what's
the
going to be
Senate
in that
campaign
Trump
last year
announcement.
is
That's going
because
to
you
be
guys
headline
got
producing.
organized and got involved in American
Possibly.
politics, and I'm grateful to you for that. But there's a lesson to take from that experience, which is that unless you guys get involved in politics, politics is going to ignore this industry. Now, you took a big step in 2024, and I tell you, every victory that we win, it's only a provisional
This is him telling you that if you don't vote him for president in 4 years,
Valley
crypto's
always
going
told
to zero.
me that, you know,
That's what he's trying to
Bitcoin,
tell you.
that the crypto community was about exit,
political ad.
and artificial intelligence was about voice.
Just in case.
Well, I know that a lot of people in 2024 in this community chose voice. You chose to speak up and you chose to get involved, and I believe you changed the direct trajectory of our country because of it. But you got to keep on choosing voice. You know, Bitcoin, of course, is
choosing
people call it digital gold. But while Bitcoin is digital,
Trump live
none
on
of
Fox.
you are. None of us are. What happens in the world of politics, what happens in the world of bureaucracy, it will affect even the most transformational
fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, you know, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead. To me, that's the nastiest question.
Plans to buy SBI Sumishin.
President Zelensky says he's ready to sit down with you and Vladimir Putin in Geneva, and it sounds like General Kellogg is working on preparations for that. Are you planning to sit down with the two of them?
Well, I will if it's necessary. Yeah. We have to. I think I'm at this point. I wish it would have been that way a couple of months ago. But at this point, we're working on President Putin.
We'll sit down with Zelensky.
And we'll see where we are. I think we're doing fine, but we'll see. I don't like what's happening. That's one thing I'll say. I don't like when I see rockets being shot into cities.
So where's Witkoff?
No,
but this is
we're not going to allow it.
Again, we already had this delayed.
Never would have started if you were.
Would have never happened, and it didn't happen.
Maybe he's reiterating. That's hitting the wire like that. That's new.
Do you still believe that he wouldn't have launched the war?
No. We would have never had a war. We would have never had a war. If I were president, if the election weren't rigged, you wouldn't have had the war. You wouldn't have had the war. You wouldn't have had inflation. You wouldn't have had October 7th. That would have never happened because Iran was stone cold broke. They didn't have any money to give to Hamas or Hezbollah. You wouldn't have had that Afghanistan most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. You wouldn't have had any of it. You wouldn't have had inflation because energy costs. Look what happened. I brought inflation down to practically zero.
And the spy.
And all of the groceries and all of the eggs and all of the things that you've been hearing about, they're back down. They're way down from where they were. I did something in 4 months that nobody's seen. And I have to say, in 4 months, and I said it before, and everyone's talking about it all over the world, we've got the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. We're the only country anybody's even talking about. All right, please go ahead.
What stopped you from imposing new sanctions on Russia?
Only the fact that if I think I'm close to getting a deal, I don't want to screw it up by doing that. Let me tell you, I'm a lot tougher than the people you're talking about, but you have to know when to use that. If I think it's going to hurt a deal, this isn't my war. This is Biden's war, Zelensky's war, and Putin's war. This isn't Trump's war.
Gold on the low.
I'm only here for one thing, to see if I can end it, to save 5,000 lives a week and a lot of money.
Gold's going red
the
now.
Money being much less important because I made that money. I went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, and we brought back $5.1 trillion. So I made that money in about 2 hours, the money that we're talking about, but it's still think of it, $300 billion we've spent with no checks, no balances. They just send cash. You can imagine what's happened to that money. I never saw anything like it in my life, but I'm more interested because I picked up $5.1 trillion and, by the way, got a beautiful, big, magnificent free airplane for the United States Air Force, okay?
I got a free
plane.
Very
proud of that, too. They tried to say, it's Trump's airplane.
Buy one, get one free.
Sure.
I know.
It's too big.
A free plane.
Frankly, it's too big, much too big.
When can we expect that to be the Air Force One?
Well, it's here already.
Yeah.
It's in the country. It's being refitted for military standard.
How much will it cost to refit it?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever it is, a hell of a lot less than building a new one. We're waiting too long from Boeing. Boeing has got to get its act together. Yeah.
Sir, on Nippon Steel,
Boeing has to get its act together. Let's see if it goes down off of that.
Consider for TikTok
yeah, I think it's down $1 or half a
Nothing
cent.
to do with
half
TikTok.
$1.
Totally different
Not
kind
too
of a
bad
deal.
of a comment,
We'll have
but
to get, to do it properly, we'll probably have to get China's approval. China's never easy. China's never easy. But I think we'll be able to save TikTok. I'd like to save TikTok. I mean, TikTok was very good to me. I won the young people by 37%. No Republicans ever won, and I won by 37%. And Charlie Kirk will tell you TikTok helped, but Charlie Kirk helped also. Oh, he just happens to be here. Look at him. He loves that we mentioned that name, right, Charlie? He's done great, and I appreciate all the help. But with young people, we won by 37%, Charlie. And you helped, but TikTok was amazing. And he was the first one. He said, get on TikTok. So I have a little bit of a warm spot. I know I shouldn't. They'll say, quid pro quo. Put him in jail for the rest of his life. Quid pro quo. No, TikTok was very good to me. I won young people. I don't know if it was because of TikTok, but it was something happened.
Yeah, Boeing comments
No
hitting
Republican
the wire.
has ever won they call them young people. Young people, you can define it a lot of different ways, but I won every age group in young people. And it never happened, and won by 37%. That's a lot. Yeah.
President, back on Iran, did you warn Prime Minister Netanyahu against taking some sort of actions that could disrupt the talks there? in a phone call last week?
Well, I'd like to be honest.
Bro, unity.
Yes,
all
I
day.
did. Next question, please.
Just last on sanctions.
I did, yeah.
If Senate Republicans want to push
It's not a warning. I said I don't think it's appropriate.
What exactly did you tell them? Did you
I just said I don't think it's appropriate. We're having very good discussions with them, and I said I don't think it's appropriate right now. Because if we can settle it with a very strong document, very strong, with inspections and no trust. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. So no trust. I want it very strong where we can go in with inspectors. We can take whatever we want. We can blow up whatever we want, but nobody getting killed. We can blow up a lab, but nobody's going to be in the lab, as opposed to everybody being in the lab and blowing it up, right? Two ways of doing it. Yeah, I told him this would be inappropriate to do right now because we're very close to a solution. Now, that could change at any moment. Could change with a phone call. But right now, I think they want to make a deal, and if we can make a deal, save a lot of lives.
When do you think a deal could happen on Iran?
On which?
A deal with Iran could happen. When do you
I don't know. I think over the next couple of weeks, if it happens. Yeah.
And on the, when could the administration resume the interviews for foreign students' visa? When do you think your administration could resume these interviews?
On what?
For the foreign student visa. Yesterday there was...
for the French visa?
For the French too, but all the foreign students.
Oh, for the foreign visas? What are you referring? Foreign visas for what? Are you talking about for colleges?
I don't even remember it.
Okay, so you're off of Israel. Now you're talking about colleges, right?
Yes, no.
Okay. Well, we're going to see. Look, Harvard has been a disaster. They've taken $5 billion plus. $5 billion. Nobody knew that they were making this kind. If we didn't do this, we would have never found this out, Pam. They're taking $5 billion. And I'd rather see that money go to trade schools. And by the way, they're totally anti-Semitic at Harvard, as you know, and some other colleges too, in all fairness to them. And it's been exposed, very exposed. And I think they're dealing very badly. Every time they fight, they lose another $250 million. Yesterday we found another $100 million. And they have, they have a fund, an endowment, $52 billion. All right? They get a lot of that from the United States. And I think it's ridiculous. I think everyone's coming up to me saying, we love the idea of trade schools with that kind of money, and money from others, but money from them. You can have the best trade schools anywhere in the world. You give them to Iowa, Indiana, lots of good states, well-run states, and you give them the money. They can only be used for trade schools, and they'll teach people how to build motors and cars and AI. The AI, we're building plants. We're building hundreds of billions of dollars worth of AI plants. Already started, many of them. We've never had a boom like we're having now. You're going to see it. There's never been anything like it. So we're up to about $14 trillion in investments. There's never been anything even close. You look at Biden, this guy, they had people leaving as opposed to investing. And they're doing it because of November 5th, and they're doing it because of the tariffs. The tariffs have been tremendous.
God bless you, great. You had a lot.
I can promise you, and I have great respect for the people at the European Union. They wouldn't be over here today negotiating if I didn't put a 50% tariff on. The sad thing is now when I make a deal with them, it's something much more reasonable. They'll say, oh, he was chicken. That's so unbelievable. I usually have the opposite problem. They say, you're too tough.
Mr. President, on Harvard, there were some Jewish students protesting on campus yesterday. They said they don't want you making these huge cuts, cutting off student visas to Harvard in their name, because they feel
Harvard
like it
has
makes
to
them
show
more
us.
of a target.
Okay, Harvard has to show us their lists. They have foreign students. About 31% of their students are foreign-based, almost 31%.
Yeah, good time. We're about to get ready for
We want to know where
those
students come. Are they troublemakers? What countries do they
get
come?
a membership.
And we're not going to, if somebody is coming from a certain country and they're 100% fine, which I hope most of them are, but many of them won't be, you're going to see some very radical people. They're taking people from areas of the world that are very radicalized, and we don't want them making trouble in our country. So I saw yesterday that in the middle of the UK, there was a nice young man. He wants to go back to school at Harvard, and he looked good to me, but I want to check his past. But we want to be able to see why, these countries aren't helping us. They're not investing in Harvard and all of we are. So why would 31%, why would a number so big? I think, number one, I think they should have a cap of maybe around 15%, not 31%. We have people want to go to Harvard and other schools. They can't get in because we have foreign students there. But I want to make sure that the foreign students are people that can love our country.
Oh, CG.
We don't want to see shopping centers exploding. We don't want to see the kind of riots that you had. And I'll tell you what, many of those students didn't go anywhere. Many of those students were troublemakers caused by the radical left lunatics in this country. All right, one more question.
President,
yeah, go ahead, please.
Will you pardon the people who are accused of conspiring to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer?
I'm going to look at it. I will take a look at it. It's been brought to my attention. I did watch the trial. It looked to me like somewhat of a railroad job. I'll be honest with you. It looked to me like some people said some stupid things. They were drinking, and I think they said stupid things. But I'll take a look at that. And a lot of people are asking me that question from both sides, actually. A lot of people think they got railroaded. A lot of people think they got railroaded. And probably some people don't. One more. Go ahead.
How will the confrontation with Harvard end? We'll see.
I don't know. I don't know. Harvard's got to behave themselves. Harvard is treating our country with great disrespect.
There you go.
And all they're doing is getting in deeper and deeper and deeper. They've got to behave themselves. I'm looking out for the country and for Harvard. I want Harvard to do well. I want Harvard to
my friend. Thank
be
you for
great
all these years.
Again, probably, because how could it be great? How could it be great when you have Harvard announced 2 weeks ago that they are going to teach remedial mathematics, remedial, meaning they're going to teach low-grade mathematics, like 2 + 2 is 4. How did these people get into Harvard if they can't do basic mathematics? How did they do it? I mean, people with 1,600 on their boards don't get in, and they're letting people in, and they're bragging about how they're teaching them basic mathematics. Where did these people come from? So we have to look at the list, and Harvard has to understand the last thing I want to do is hurt them. They're hurting themselves.
Legendary.
They're fighting. Columbia has been they were very, very bad what they've done. They're very anti-Semitic and lots of other things.
I hope I'm not peer pressuring you into a membership by calling you a chicken.
Finding a solution.
Okay. But it's kind of working.
They're taking off
Don't be a chicken,
but Harvard wants to fight. They want to show how smart they are. They're getting their ass kicked. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Let's go. Thank you.
Good luck, everybody.
All right. Well, there you go. We came back up a little bit. Other than that, there was a couple headlines related to the war, potential meetings there. You've heard some other topics. Again, Iran deal, Israel, even the schools. But surprisingly, not anything more. Again, he did talk. He said, we'll get a deal with China. He said, they're going to call him a chicken on EU. But that all sounded positive. So not bad. Oh, hey, Sos. X-Flare, baby. Well, listen, I hope not being a chicken will pay you guys a dividend. I'd love to see it. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Ooh. Beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite coat. All right, should we get it popping? Oh, we got 10 more minutes, so 10 more minutes, then we are going to move on over. Other than that, Nick Bowen, baby. 32! Finger to the sky. Oh, man. I think I know what that is, baby. Oh, and no. Another year, Nikki B. You still grinding, baby. Let's go. And Saint Jerry, he really is a saint, bro. He is son, y'all. You have no idea. That's a lot of St. Jerry's in the last few weeks, bro. That's 50, bro. No chickens there. None. No, 50 and RV. RV Vavar. Welcome, baby. Enrico. Okay, Chad. Y'all turning up now. Well, amen. And then Sweet Greens pop in. That was nice. That one is nice. But other than that, Chadadonia, thank you. I love you. But we need a long term. That's it. That's how I'm going to repay you. to some epic long-terms, some long-term growth. MP still on the high. Actually, SPY's at VWAP. That's crazy. And make sure you turn on your memberships. It's a setting in YouTube, so then that way you can receive it. And now a lot of you will get your membership, so happy hunting during Philo. Just make sure you use it, because I will still ban you. So I hope, you know, the Chad's being nice to you and offering you a shot at the inner circle. Is that what they call it? At the Philo circle, you know. All of it is good, but you got to use it, man. You got to use it. So I leave that to you, and I wish you the best of luck. I mean, amen. Amen. You're hesitant on the forward student stuff. Your wife was a forward student. I don't feel like those unis offer much more. I think it's just related to all the other people who, because, you know, there's been drama from people getting admitted, and it's not like, I think there's a lot of good foreign students. And I think most of the foreign students are great that come to America. But I do think there is, sadly, a small group of people in the last few years that came here under the guise of being students, and they were really just fucking doing politics. So, yeah, it's a weird one, though. But I think it's kind of, he's going aggressive on Harvard, and I think we're going to see how it all ends out. But, yeah, Lucy, that one's been going up all day. And then whatever ATLC is. Oh, what was that? OSIS? This thing's dying. That's it. Found it again. You left and came back. Well, hey, man. Go home. Hey, man. Get a long term. Go home. Woo! And then SPY, though, you're getting a quick red. So, yeah. Get ready. We're almost at 10 o'clock. It's still NVIDIA earnings day. So, keep in mind. And then, look. Microsoft, though. Remember earlier, just even on the first one, Microsoft was the one hitting a new low. So, you have an extra quarter point between the equal weight and non-equal weight, and that's just big tech. So if those come down, it'll take you there. Other than that, we're still, again, just waiting for the next one. Oh, you have the bond auction. Yeah. Get ready, actually. So right when we move to Philo, we'll end right at the bond auction. So get ready, but that could be the next one, the next little catalyst. Like I said, the market is in a weird mode the last couple of days. We're focusing on trade. You have the earnings, but you're still very prone to being in tantrum mode. So auction may or may not cause a reaction. I don't know. But that's what you want to be on the lookout for, depending on how good or bad. See what they actually end up doing. Yeah, Bitcoin. I own a fair amount of Bitcoin, says Vance. That was earlier. It didn't really... Is he still talking? Because I put on Trump instead of him, but... Nothing really moved. Again, Illumina. That one keeps rising, but it's just gradual. And then a random small cap every fucking hour is just going to start running. Robot. Like the video? You don't need to like the video, man. Where you been? What's up, man? We missed you, bro. Getting a lot there. Woo! MTN, they were up on the news of the new CEO. Remember, we talked about this one for the long term the other day. So they replaced the CEO and got their pop. But yeah, so they're slipping a little bit. Again, Sweet Greens, Unity. Qubits is going crazy now. Is Qubits green? Yeah, red to green, or it was barely green to moving again. And then more holo. Everyone reiterating the Vance thing. That's weird. We heard it live, but that was like 10 minutes ago. Either way, if it gets it moving or not. There was even that bad comment on Boeing. Little drop and pop, but nothing really material. Bonds are catching a bid. Get ready. 5 minutes till the auction. So, like I said, it's going to be weird. You got qubits in the bottom right. That's starting to pop off there now. Again, just starting to go green, and it's printing the high ticker. So, yeah, do your thing, 21. Do your thing. Oh, UNH. Yeah, MTN. IVF. Whoa, what's this? 5%. Again, another small cap runner. This one, I don't know what this will mean, but yeah, 5% in 2 candles, small volume. BTI's moving around. Again, I think Philip Morris, were they green? Yeah. And then MO's barely red. CoreWeave, chillin', nvdA, and that's all that matters today. Yeah, I got qubits in the bottom right. I don't think any of the other ones are moving like that. And then Wayfair again. You guys were asking about that yesterday a lot. That one went red to green. Weemy, another one. That one's hologram. You had Holo going. But yeah, we're just playing this game. Watch the bonds. And then, like I'm saying, like every 10 minutes, 30 minutes, you're going to get a random small cap pop. And then, like I said, still playing this out until we get our boy nvdA. And then 2 minutes, 3 minutes till the auction. You'll get the details, and then the results come out a little bit later. So get ready for that. Are you selling bonds because printing more currency or refinancing? We always sell bonds. You have to. That's how you get money into the system. So it's just a normal process. That's why people care all of a sudden now about it, when they really didn't prior, because of things like the deficit and other things. But that's the easy answer. Sweet greens. Mygen. Yeah, Visa. A couple names are still going on the high. Look at the high ticker. It's balanced out. Let's get a checkup. Remember, it was pretty bad earlier. Dow Jones, you got 8 names green, 22 red. A little better than earlier, than worse than the morning. NASDAQ 100, 48 green, 53 red. So worse than the morning and better than an hour or two ago. Not bad. And then SPY, 121 green, 379 red. That's just as bad as it was like an hour ago. So yeah, a couple things still moving around. Like we said, just wait or watch for the broadening out as we go through the middle of the day, and then end of the day, everyone's going to start finalizing all those positions related to NVIDIA. TTD breaking out. All right, 30 seconds, you'll get the details. So get ready. You'll get the when issued, and then give it like a minute or two. And then we'll get the results, and then that'll probably be your final catalyst of the day. Actually, no. You have the Fed minutes in another hour, and then you'll have the earnings. So we'll see. Like I'm saying, I don't know how it's going to play out, good or bad. Just be mindful of the market. We saw tantrum mode last auction, so head on a swivel. Head on a swivel. The VIX is dropping. Still green on the day. What is this? Seaside Equity, more than 7 for 2 new funds. Third main buyout fund, close to 565 million. Seaside Equity. All right, where is the details? Yeah, 5. Oh, wait, no. Is this it? Yeah. 5-year auction. Where is it? Yalla habibi. I don't see a when issued yet. I don't know if it got bundled up and all that. We'll give it a sec. $4.075. I don't see any other details. I don't know if it got bundled in there. Now Chad's posting some. We'll use that. Yeah, I see that now. 70 billion, 4.075. It's not showing up on my other one. The one that gets me the results immediately. Nothing showed up. FOMC minutes are in an hour, yes. And then 4.075 is the auction amount, or the yield, the one issued. Bungie on the high. CDNS still dying, if you guys remember that from earlier. 4.075. All right, 4.071 bid. So there you go. So it was a good auction. Bid to cover 239. That looks a little low. But yeah, it was slightly higher than the note coupon. And then again, lower than the when issued. But it's still a high yield. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Everyone's a fucking crackhead. This is the same situation as last time. But again, this time you just didn't have a tail. But last time the tail wasn't that big. It was just a high yield and everybody panicked. So yeah, but same thing here. Still a high yield above 4 on this duration, but it came in a little lower. But yeah, there it is. So bond auction, no big deal. Wait till you get the what's it called? Wait till you get the Fed minutes in an hour, and that's it now. ARM's starting to take off a little bit. What's this? Let's see. ARM kind of popping at the high. I'm checking news and volume on this. Plug. Woo! ARM is at average volume right now. Or it's going to be, but still low volume. That's starting to pop, though. Yeah, bid to cover was 2.39. Previous was 241. That's what I'm saying. That was a little lower. Directs accepted 12 versus 24. And then indirects accepted a lot more. So, yeah, there's a lot more broader demand. It wasn't bad. But then again, I didn't think last time was bad. And people tripped the fuck out. So, but just like we said, watch out for any tantrum. The data was good. Market might be able to avoid it. But other than that, I don't think the next one be on watch. And, you know, some of these patterns in the bond auction is fucking random. So, yeah, we'll see. Plug walk. Woo! I can't even understand how my long-term talks. Woo! All right, Chad. On that note, I love you. And thank you to all the people who weren't chicken. You see, they weren't chicken. They made an investment. They didn't chicken out. Game time. So yeah, that is all I have for you. We now need to go into philo and talk about life in Jesus Christ. So if you don't want to hear it, that's fine. You got to pay to hear it. So it's not for everybody. But if you are going to be there, I hope I see you there. And if you need anything else, you let me know. But other than that, Chad, have a good day. We'll try to be back on by Power Hour. And God bless America. Thank you to the veterans. Thank you to everybody who didn't chicken out. Game time. 10 years minimum. That's what a long term is. Don't ever forget it. Okay? Okay. Good. Amen. I will see you there. Goodbye.